Yeah, I don't ever remember feeling like this. But I'm out here in these YouTube streets. So I want you to get your fingers.
I don't know what you're doing.
I want you to
right
get
now,
your
but
mouse.
I want you to check me out.
And I want you to check me out.
Get ready to do this. It's the relationship rehab. Like, share, and subscribe. We coming at you live. So come on, let's take a ride. Then subscribe to United Guns of America. Just click that link and listen up to what I'm telling you. It's the relationship.
Click that link right now. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Brian Redmond, and I just want y'all to subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? I want you to let me know what you think. I'm gonna talk about some things, you can talk about some things, and we can do our thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about having a conversation, right? I mean, if we can't talk to each other, then, I mean, what are we really here for? I want y'all to be able to just come over to my channel, talk to me about what's going on with you, and I can tell you what's going on with me, and we can build some things. You know what I'm saying? That's all about growth, baby. So click that link, go ahead and swipe on your phone, whatever you gotta do. Share my content. It's just get me out here, baby. Cause we just talking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I like doing what I'm doing because it's about the people. It's about us having a conversation with each other. It's about us discussing whatever needs to be discussed. And on these YouTube streets, this is the best place to do it, baby. Like, share, and subscribe. That's right. Click the link. Click the link. Yeah. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's out here that's already subscribed. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all ain't the first one, and y'all ain't the last one. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that click the link, that click the share, and then subscribe to your boy. Cause we gon' grow this thing together, baby. Relationship rehabbing, United Guns of America. To the world, blow up, baby. Yeah. Click the link, baby. Click the link, baby. Yeah. Hey, I just want to send a shout out to all y'all. I love y'all. That's why I do this. It's for the love of us, baby. I appreciate all of y'all. Ooh, we gon' do this thing. We gon' do this thing right here, baby. Hey, look, if you at a computer right now, just go ahead and click your link. What else you got to lose, baby? Tell me what you think. Hit the comment section. You can jump on the live panel. We do it all here. That's what it's all about. So come holler at your boy. I've been doing this for years, but I just got onto this YouTube thing. So hey, let's see what it do and where it can go.
To United Guns of America. Just click the link and listen up to what I'm telling you.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Brian Redmond, and I am back one more again for another relationship rehab. And you're not up. Wait, it would work better if I had my camera on, wouldn't it? God, dog. There we go. All right, there we go. I'm sitting here trying to get together, and I forgot I didn't put my lotion on my hand. So I'm like, man, let me go grab this lotion real quick, because I ain't had none in my studio. So I had to go grab my lotion because I didn't want to be doing the show with some ashy hands and elbows. That's not good etiquette. I usually do this before my show, but I couldn't find it. So here we go. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's joining me on tonight. It was a late show, and the reason why the show is late is because I'm just a late motherfucker. Y'all know me. But also, I fell asleep earlier. I did. I fell asleep. I was sitting here and looking at stuff that I was going to do the show on, and before you know it, I was like... And then I woke up like, dang, you know, you wake up when you really, really sleep and you wake up with the damn. That's how I woke up. Like, I didn't mean to go to sleep, but I did. And I was like, oh man. I said, no, I'm going tonight because I've been off last week. I didn't get to do no show because of the holiday. I was out of town. So I did a show the day before yesterday, and damn it, I'm going to give the people what they want, and I'm going to do a show on tonight. So here I is. Thank you. UFO Kamikaze said, cool hat. Hey, man, I try to do what I do. You know, I try. But, yeah, I don't know. But I'm here and it's on. Shout out to everybody. I'm sorry. Shout out to the handful of people that's over on the United Guns of America channel. I did fix my software so I can broadcast on both channels now again. What I realized was that I had the wrong account loaded in my broadcasting software. That's why it was telling me to buy all this stuff again that I had already bought. So I ain't had to worry about that. So I got it together and now I'm good. And yes, we are back. So we're going to get right into the show. I think this show might be a little long, but we're going to have a good time and we're going to talk about some really important stuff, which is why I really wanted to do this video. So without further ado, my favorite part of the show, and this is the moment where I get to taste my first sip of my drink.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Yeah, it's still good. Ratios off just a tinch, a skosh, but it's still good. Yeah. All right. So before we get started, let me give some shout outs because I ain't did that in a while. Let me shout out some people out. Get up to the top of the chat. We got, let's see, who we got off up in here. We got Nathan Cool One. What's happening? We got my man DJ Matt 121. What's up? AJ says, whoop, whoop. What up? What up? CJ Gunn, one of the best moderators ever. We also got my man Michael Parkinson. He's one of our members in the membership. Salute to you, brother. We also got Miss June Bennett, another great mod. We also got Phil Brad. What's happening? Chris V. What it do? Going to be an interesting topic tonight. Yes, it is. It is. My man Montreal Rather. What's happening? Shout out to my man David Williams. Shout out to R2DX Hate. Yes, indeed. And he says the parents are complicit. We gonna get to that. Shout out to Champ Day, my man UFO Kamikaze. Salute to you, broski. And also we got CJ Gunn again. And we got who else? My man Mike Brown. He said, I love your show, Brian. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Love you back, brother. Also we got Ibra Colson. All right, I see you. And we got my man Wolf Bear up in the place. Patty Pierce, what's happening? And I did have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Shout out to Bossa Queenie. What up? Yes, indeed. We was waiting for somebody to break this shit down. Well, I am here to do just that. Also, let's see who else we got. My man Anthony T. Biz. What up, bro? What up? And shout out to my man AJ already shouted him out. D-Lo Smith, what up? Seymour Pape, all right. And Lion Tribe, glad to catch another live. I'm glad you was able to catch one too. Jared Sennett, he said, what's up? What up to you, brother? And the Bell 5000 and Ronnie Lynn, what's happening? That rhymes. I should be a rapper. What up, Mike Smith? He said he subbed. That's what I'm talking about. Sub to your boy. Now, all of you that are watching on the Relationship Rehab, please, if you get a chance, go on over and sign up on the United Guns of America channel as well. You could just type in your search bar, United Guns of America, or you can go into the description box and click the link that take you right to the channel and you can subscribe there too. All right, so I just want to say this. One of the biggest problems that we have in our country is, I believe that we tend to try to overcorrect. We have certain things that happen, certain things that take place, and out of fear, most of the time, the majority of the time, out of fear, and definitely out of an overload or an unbalanced amount of emotion, we overcorrect. We go too far. That's what we do. And it's a terrible, terrible habit that we have as a country. And a lot of it is due to what the media does, which is one of the reasons why I'm glad I get to do what I do.
but a lot of times they keep this kind of stuff going because of fear, and they keep breeding it. And the thing is that what people don't realize is when you look at active shooters have always been amongst us. Since I think the first active shooter was back in like 1913 or something like that. We've always had active shooters, mass killings, whatever the case may be. And with that being said, it's not a thing that you can actually just stop. It's a thing that you can combat. You can combat it and try to counteract it. But the only way that you can do that is that when you have in the simplest terms, as it's been said, and I've said this plenty of times, the only thing that stops a bad person with a gun is a good person with a gun. There's always, and I mean always, going to be bad people amongst us that are going to do savage shit, period. And the only way that you can stop that is to meet it head on and to actually go back at that savage behavior with equal or greater force. That's what it is. That's just what it is. You have to realize that if there's not enough legislation, there never will be enough laws, there will never be a legal way to stop this, because it's a thing of sheer force. It's power. And if you took all of the guns away in the world, you would then have an uptick in massive stabbings. If you took all of the knives away in the world, you would have an uptick in massive stick beatings. If you took all of the sticks away in the world, you would have an uptick in stonings. People would be getting hit with bricks. People will continuously fight other people. They will hurt other people. And the only way that you can have some type of consistency when it comes to peace is everyone has to have a certain level of respect for everyone. And the only way you can do that is to try to equal and level the playing field as much as possible. That's just the world we live in. That is the way of the world. That is human nature. Since the dawn of time, for those of us that are believers in Christ Almighty, you look at what Cain did to Abel. Cain fucked Abel up, and Abel didn't have no beef with Cain. None. He had no beef. He was literally living his life with his own fucking brother. And his brother still said, "No, fuck that. I'm going to not only hurt him, I'm going to kill him." Totally unprovoked. It ain't like Cain and Abel was at the bar drinking. It ain't like Cain and Abel got to arguing over a bitch. It ain't like Cain stole something and Abel stole something, or Cain accused. It wasn't none of that. Cain was just in his mind like, I don't like this motherfucker, man. And I don't like this motherfucker to the point where I'm going to do something to this motherfucker. Now, when you talk about people, I've heard people say this, they said this a lot during the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. They were talking about saying, hey man, he had to have no gun. He should have fought him head up. Well, when you look at people who fight or knuckle up or using their fists or using these hands and catch these hands, what up, Lance? Catching these hands and all that kind of shit, it's never equal. Because if I'm stronger, faster, bigger, more skilled than someone else, I now have an advantage over others. And there are some people that like that. Think about the big swole up ass niggas, not the ones that's just healthy and fit, but the big swole ass niggas that like to show you how big and swole they are. They like to exert their physicality. Those people that you meet that come and they shake your hand and not give you a firm handshake, but they squeeze your hand really hard and try to break your fucking fingers on purpose. You're trying to show me that you are more physically stronger than me, and then you're trying to show me that you are more dominant than I am. That's what it is. That's just what it is. When you have big swole motherfuckers, big strong ass niggas, and they come through and they walk through and they all big and they talking loud and shit like that, they want to show and exude that physicality. Niggas do it all the time. And I'm not just, that's not just a nigga thing I'm saying. I'm saying niggas figuratively. I'm saying that's not just a nigga type of thing. Well, white boys do it too. When you go out somewhere, Mexican dudes do it too. That big buff dude, not the one that's just healthy and got his regular clothes on. Nope. I'm talking about the one that like to show his shit off. Even like when I be at the gym, you see the guys that go there and work out, and then you see the other guys that go there and work out because they want to show out. They go, they got the biggest muscles. They look like they done just got through putting a needle in their arm for the steroids. But they go there to exude and to just show everybody how physical and physically strong they are, physically superior. So it happens. And it's like one of those things when it comes to fighting tactics and skill, when it comes to just being able to use certain type of weapons and tools, that thing comes about based on what you learn as far as skill. And yes, people will say, man, the littlest dude could knock out the biggest dude. That is true. It's not about the size of the dog. I mean, it's about the size of the fighting the dog as opposed to the size of the dog. I get it. But in general, the bigger and stronger person or the person that is the most skilled in a combat situation usually wins. Plain and simple. That's just how it is. That's just how it goes. So when you talk about saying this whole thing of, just catching hands, man, just fight it out, man, it's still a disadvantage. So with that being said, now when you talk about the use of weapons and being able to use those weapons, you use weapons to defend yourself. And also people use weapons to go on the offensive, to go after and to do things to people because they have the power to do it. And that one thing that is that equalizer, unfortunately, one of the best tools about that you can have when it comes to leveling the playing field is a firearm. It just is. Whether you a strong ass man or whether you a weak ass woman, you could be the littlest woman out, but if you know how to use a firearm, you're just as deadly. Thank you, Asias Morales. Thank you so much. That's just what it is. Now, when you combine certain aspects of that, having a strong person that's actually very well skilled and actually has a firearm, yeah, they're more deadly. I get it. But in general, that firearm is a very good tool to level the playing field. Just is. And with that being said, that's one of the reasons why it's such a preferred choice when it comes to violent acts like that. And the fact that when you have these things, as far as these kids that are going into these schools and shooting, it's not so much of, oh man, it's another shooting. Had we not had the guns, this wouldn't have happened. Nope. It's a thing of saying, and it's always like this. There's always a leading up to. There's always events before that take place as to how this stuff happens. It always is. It's never just, oh, he just woke up one day and lost it. Nope. It's always things that are constantly going, constantly happening, and the intervention or the level of intervention or the lack thereof usually leads to things like this every once in a while. Because I'm telling you right now, for every kid that's bullied that you see that acts out like this, for every kid that's a social misfit that acts out like this, there are literally thousands who get the same or if not worse, and they just never do. They just never do. And it was like one of the things that I learned as becoming as a young man. I truly became a sheepdog at a very young age because I was the guy that saw the other guys messing with the nerds. I was the guy that even though I wasn't the smartest in the class, I was still smart for the most part. I was slightly above the average, but I was the guy that saw, damn, that could be me. I was the guy, fortunately enough, growing up as a fat kid, I was fortunate enough to have the gift of gab. So I wasn't the one I was the one that would get picked on, but because I had a mouthpiece and I could cap back on a motherfucker, people stopped fucking with me. And I had a rep. Man, you don't want to talk to that nigga. Talk about Brian, boy. Brian will go off on your ass. And I just became that because my family, my father, my aunties and shit, they were naturally funny. We are, for the most part, a funny family. So we always crack jokes. But those of us that couldn't defend themselves verbally or physically, because I wasn't the smallest guy neither. I was fat, but I was fat. I was a big motherfucker. You weren't just going to come up to me and just whop on my ass and I was, no. Nope, I wasn't that guy. And as I, became more popular and became more in the in crowd in elementary school and stuff like that, I still saw that the nerds that couldn't defend themselves were still getting bullied. So I was the guy that would step in for them. But hey, man, stop fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? I'd see somebody, crack one or two jokes on the nerd or whatever, or the misfit or the dude that was socially awkward. And then I crack a joke on his ass like, oh, nigga, why you laughing? No, look at this. And then a motherfucker be like, ah, and then they would take the heat off of them. And it got to the point to where by the time I was in high school, I was a motherfucker. And I talked about everybody. I talked about any and everybody. I was like Richard Pryor. I gave it to everybody. Nobody was safe. That's how it is today. But I understood the power that I had, and I tried my best to use it for good for the most part. I remember I used to, because I was the fat kid, there were certain people that thought they could talk about me and be cool because like they thought they could get away with it. Nope. I remember I literally put on like a 5-minute stand-up of a handicapped dude. Shout out to my man Marcus. Went to high school with him. And it was like I became the people that went to high school with me, that became like one of my signatures. They were like, man, this time that dude did that joke on Marcus. And I did. I really busted out a full reenactment of Handyman on this nigga in the hallway during class exchange time. Had the little cape, took my jacket and made a cape. And this is doing a living color now. And lit his ass up. The teachers were laughing. It was that funny. But I did that because he was the same motherfucker that was talking shit to me. Yeah, this fat motherfucker, you a fat motherfucker, your fat ass. I was like, all right, Marcus, you better lay off me now. I'm trying to be nice because you got you got this shit going. I'm trying to be nice. And he kept on and kept on. I said, lights, camera, action. Have him saying, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I had to give it to him. But there are so many of us that have gotten bullied and can't fight back. And it's one of those things to where when nobody fights for them, some people get to the point to where they lose it and they say, fuck it. Not saying that this kid in particular, because I don't know all the details with what this kid did and how he did it. I just know some of the facts that came up to it, that led up to it. But I'm telling you, it happens a lot. Right, Johnny, he said, I went Johnny Storm and flame on. I did. I literally did. But it's like one of those things to where you can push somebody, and we as people, we push and we push and we push. And we fuck with people beyond just the norm. If you don't fight back in this type of society, you will get fucked with until you break. That's what we do. That's the kind of people we become. And that's because we have so much shit that happens and nobody says nothing because they don't want to offend or they don't want to step in. They don't want to smoke and all of that kind of shit that happens. And we have to become better at seeing something and saying something. Shout out to my man, DJ Just J. He always say that at the AFC. If you see something, say something. See something, say something. I saw a video today and I think I'm going to do a show about it. There was a chick who was in a gas station. And apparently this chick was taking a piss in the gas station parking lot. Not in the bathroom. Bitch wasn't in the bathroom. Nope. She was in the gas station parking lot, squatting down, taking a piss. Apparently or allegedly, someone saw her pissing and pulled out their phone and started to record. Now, what do you think this bitch did? Think the bitch stopped pissing? Nope, she finished. But you know what the bitch did after she finished pissing? She pulled her gun out and she shot at the fucking car. She literally let off like 9-10 shots. And the bitch wasn't like, she was just like, la, 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 just licking shots at the fucking car driving away. Luckily, the person didn't get hurt or get hit. But when you look at that kind of shit, you pissing outside, you mad because somebody catch your ass pissing outside, and they recording you pissing outside because you chose to be a nasty bitch. And now you're upset to the point to where you're going to shoot at this person and potentially kill them because they filmed you being a nasty bitch. And it's like when you have that type of decision making in a world like that, it's like, what the fuck would you do? I mean, when you see something like that, and a motherfucker was probably recording, like, look at this bitch, look at this dirty bitch. And like, I'm gonna record this bitch, fuck that, she doing some fucked up shit. If you that embarrassed to where you want to shoot a motherfucker, you probably shouldn't have pulled your motherfucking ass out to piss in a fucking parking lot. Piss by your car door. I can't tell you how many times I've had to get out my truck and stand there and piss in the door. Not in the door, but with the door blocking me. You know, because I'm quite sure people that may be riding by or somebody may walk up that they're not interested in seeing my penis. As wonderful of a specimen as it is, everybody don't want to see that. Somebody don't want to necessarily be driving by taking a piss. So if somebody was to catch me pissing, they'd only catch it from the back and they'd just see the back of me and they'll see the shit trickling down. They go, hey, I'd be like, hey, I had to piss. I ain't gonna piss on myself. It is what it is. But we have this thing to where we do things in society and we won't say anything. And then we get to the point to where when people do break, we wonder why, what the fuck happened? And this is one of those things to where this kid was definitely giving the warning signs of saying, hey, I'm about to blow. I'm about to be like Spice One, blow. And there was not enough done to actually curb this or prevent this. But then again, there was actually the parents fucked up in putting a gun in the house that apparently wasn't under lock and key with a troubled teen. Why would you do that? But let's go ahead and let's get into it.
Going to go to new details this morning in that deadly shooting at a high school in Michigan. 3 students killed, another 8 people wounded. A 15-year-old suspect is in custody. Trevor Ault is live now in Oxford, Michigan with the very latest. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, Michael. Authorities say this 15-year-old had a weapon his father had just purchased on Friday, and he used it to gun down 10 of his classmates and a teacher. And this morning, the community is understandably reeling and now remembering those 3 students who were killed and who have now been identified.
And oddly enough, the parents were at the school that day, the same day that the kid came to school. And they were there for him because of the shit that he had been doing leading up to this. And it's the same day that he did what the fuck he did. It's like, that's not a thing to where we had no idea. We didn't know we wouldn't do this. And I'm not going to say this kid's name because I try my best not to do that. That's just part of the active shooter training that I've had. You don't want to say the active shooter's name because it gives them, you don't want to, put their name out there like that to give them notoriety. But it's like when you have something like this that happens, this ain't nothing that just popped up. We had no clue, no idea. It was something that happened over time and led up to that. But once you saw the first signs of saying, man, my son ain't acting right. If you buying a gun for whatever reason, you still need to make sure that you're responsible enough to say, well, yeah, I know my son is fucking up right now in life and he might do some crazy shit or whatever. I'm going to put this gun up under lock and key or keep it on me. That's just something that you should do if you know that your kid is like that or not in a good place, as some would say.
Overnight, the FBI and local sheriffs carrying arms full of evidence out of a 15-year-old Michigan student's home after investigators say his school shooting rampage left 3 dead and 8 others wounded, and the community mourning the tragedy.
They deserve to be known, but they didn't deserve to die tonight.
Hours later, the sheriff identifying the 3 classmates killed. Hannah St. Juliana, just 14 years old, 17-year-old Madison Baldwin, whose family says she'd already been accepted to several colleges, and 16-year-old Tate Meyer, the Oxford High School football team, paying tribute to him, tweeting, "Tate was a great young man with a bright future and beloved by all. You will be missed, Tate." Investigators say the suspect had been in class earlier that day, coming out of a bathroom armed with a semi-automatic handgun that his father purchased just 4 days earlier, opening fire inside the high school near Detroit. Barricaded students post.
So it's like when you look at just the totality of the circumstances, and I don't know who said that about he bought the gun for his son for Christmas. I don't know about that, but I guess my thing is any kid, and parents have this problem for some fucking reason. I don't know. I just don't understand this. Parents today, and I'm saying probably the parents of the past, maybe, what is this, 2021, past maybe 30, 40 years maybe. Parents of today have gotten into a habit of literally rewarding children that have bad behavior. They reward bad behavior. And they think that if they give their kids more stuff, shout out to Brandy, hit your boy with $40. I appreciate it. Thank you kindly. Shout out to my boy Lance. He hit your boy with $20. That's right, y'all. I've been missing y'all. Hit me with them donations. That's what I'm talking about. But when you have we have this thing where when you have a kid that has bad behavior and you reward it by giving them more stuff, thinking that it's going to fix it, there is nothing, and I mean nothing, that you can do, that you can give to a kid that is a physical thing, that is stuff, toys, whatever the case may be, more leeway that fixes bad behavior. Accountability and responsibility corrects bad behavior. Plain and simple. I've yet to see the kid who behaved terribly and was given stuff and finally fixed it and said, yeah, I'm going to stop. After daddy brought me them Jordans, I said, you know what? I am being an asshole. Yeah, I went and stole $800 out of my mama's purse and went and spent it on my friends. But after she bought me after she went and bought me that Gucci belt, I said, you know what? Maybe I was being an asshole and I stopped. Yeah, I stole my parents' car, but after they went and bought me a new one, yeah, I said I'm going to be good now and I'm not going to do that shit anymore. How in the fuck did we get to the place to where if a kid doesn't work for something, they won't appreciate it, they won't value it, and therefore they won't take care of it? I.e., look at most single mothers that are on Section 8. They don't have the most pristine homes. They don't take care of their yards. Those women that are on Section 8 and got in the projects and all that housing development and shit like that, they don't have the best home care possible. You go into them motherfucking houses, they paying $8 a month for rent, and they got sheets covering the fucking windows. Floors that look like they haven't been mopped in years. How many of these videos have you seen? And I got to give my man DJ Just J another shout out from the AFC. If you have not subscribed to the AFC podcast, you need to go do it. It's a very good channel. And I respect DJ so much because he does something that I don't have the stomach to do. And he does it day in and day out. I have such a high level of respect for that brother as the way that he does that. But when you look at all of the shit that you see in these houses, right, Brandy? You see beds on the floor, box springs on the floor, and shit like that. You see just the worst conditions in literally damn near free housing. I'm on my way, Helen. You have, just the worst conditions. And then you'll have people that'll make excuses for them. Well, it's hard being a single mama and, she going through a lot. You don't know what they going through in their house. Oh, but they got the flyest and the most expensive weave out. They all wear Jordans. They all got on Louis bags, Fendi bags. They got their hair and nails. They got the raptor claws together with the rhinestones on it. You got to say rhinestones. I know it's rhinestones, but niggas say rhyme. They got the rhinestones on there, raptor claws. So when they doing this shit with their hair, they can comb through it a lot better. They just gotta do this shit. They got eyelashes that's motherfucking 9 inches long. Eyelashes longer than a nigga dick. And they just flapping in the wind and shit. They got the latest fucking iPhone, the fucking 14. They got the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The shit ain't even out yet, but they got it. And you look at it, you say, this is what happens when you just give people shit. You give people shit. You got some of these women get fucking $1,500, $1,800, almost $2,000, or even some they got over there, depending on how many kids they got, $2,000 in food stamps. And what they doing? Selling the shit, or they buying fucking steak and lobster. And then they buying fucking boxes of Takis and flaming hot Cheetos for their kids. So you have money to buy the healthiest food possible. Y'all motherfuckers can take that money and go to Whole Foods and kill it. But what do? I buy them little hug juices. I give them nothing but sugar, high fructose corn syrup, the worst of worst. Bitch, don't cook at all. They still got motherfucking cases. Hear me, cases of fucking noodles. And that's what they feed their kids. That's what they feed their kids. And then when you look at that and you think that they struggling and they trying to make it, I'm a single mother out here and you don't know I got it all. But bitch, how you got all this expensive shit? How you got gold chains on, gold earrings? You got all this shit, but you struggling? No. It's because they were given something that they didn't have to work for. So they don't give a shit about it. They don't give a shit about it. They literally don't give a flying fuck about it. Just saying, I remember when I was in the hood, I remember one of my little homies from the block, his name was Booby. Shout out to Booby if you watching this. But his mama spoiled the shit out of him. And Booby used to have, I mean literally, he would get every Nintendo game that came out. Every single one. I might get 2 in a year. Just saying. But every game that came out, he got it. Brand new. Every week, this nigga went to the point to where it was like clockwork. We would go over Booby house once a week just to see what new games was out and what games he was playing so that we could get and ask him to borrow the games he wasn't playing no more. And it was like Booby became, he was at what but a little terrorist motherfucker in the hood. But we knew him, so it was cool for us. But it was just one of those things where he was given so much. And when you have kids that have been given so much and they don't earn the shit, now what happens to them when they get older? They're now slaves to that shit that they've been given since they were kids. So now I'm grown. Mama ain't buying me Jordans no more. What I'm going to do to get them now? I'm going to go sell dope. That's what I'm going to do. I got to have it. I'm so used to it. She created the habit. She created this monster. I'm going to get it. I ain't got no Gucci belt. I got to go sell this dope to get one because I had it when I was a kid. That's the type of mentality that we have with our children today. Why would you bring a gun into a house where you have a troubled teen and not have it secured? Why would you have it to where you don't even have the relationship to where with your son and you don't have that bluffing with your son where you can say, look, motherfucker, don't you touch this motherfucker. You don't even have that. I grew up with around my dad because he was a police officer. It was guns all over. I had a certain level of respect for him because I was taught that. I didn't go pick my old man guns up. I wouldn't touch him unless I asked him. And then when I asked him, he would then give me that gun. Now, when I got older, he'd be like, hey, pass me my guns. I can put it in my bag. Give me my gun so I can go get my gun out to such and such so we can go. Yeah, but I was older then. I was, 15, 16, 17 years old. So I knew what it was. I knew how to handle it because I've been handling it since I was yay high. But the thing is, there was a certain level of respect created for it to where I understood it. I understood it. And these kids today, they get so much shit that they're not worthy of getting. and we give them too much. Your job as a parent is to be a kid's parent, not his fucking friend. My 2 children that I have, I don't give a fuck. And I promise you, love my kids to death. Lay down my life for them right now. I don't give a fuck about my friendship with my kids. That is not even a priority in my life. I love my daughter with everything that I am. I love my son to the point where I gave him my name. I'm not trying to be neither one of them little motherfuckers' friends. Fuck that. I don't negotiate with terrorists and I don't negotiate with kids. I don't. You're going to do what the fuck I say. As long as you under my house and under my fucking resources and protection, you're going to do what the fuck I tell you to do. Period. Now, when your ass is an adult, that don't mean when you 18. An adult in my book means you are not only living on your own, but you are providing for yourself by yourself. That's when you're grown. All that, when I turn 18, I can't wait, I'm grown. When I turn 21, I'm grown. Bullshit. You can't be grown living in my house. It's only one other motherfucker in my house that's grown, and that's my wife. Everybody else is a kid or a guest on borrowed time. I'm telling you, stop being your kids' friends. Stop trying to be your kids' friend. I don't want them to shut me out their life. Fuck that. I gave them little motherfuckers life. Get no fuck about being their friend. Get no fuck about trying to, I gotta make sure my son like me. Hey boy, I'm your blueprint. You better watch what the fuck I'm doing. And if you choose not to, fine. But you're gonna accept all of the responsibilities and all of the motherfuckers. You're gonna be held accountable for the shit you do. That's it. I told y'all last year before last, about my daughter for Christmas. She got so much shit for Christmas. That was 2 years ago. She got so much shit for Christmas. She literally on Christmas Day during the cleanup, kid tear up the fucking living room. They got the whole fucking living room shit all under the tree. Shit is everywhere. You got to get the kids the living room at least till about 2:00 on Christmas. But when it was time to clean up this shit, my daughter was literally about to throw brand new toys away because she had so much that she didn't give a fuck. And I literally saw her. I said, you gonna throw that away? I lost it. And I had to tell my daughter, I said, sweetheart, daddy has to apologize to you because I've done too much. I've allowed you to have so much stuff that you don't even appreciate the brand new stuff you gotten on Christmas to the point to where you're willing to throw it away. I said, I said, this is my fault, sweetheart. I said, but that's okay because daddy gonna fix it. And I told her grandparents, I told her aunties, her godmamas and all that, don't buy her shit but clothes. My daughter got like 2 gifts, like toys, and the rest was all fucking clothes. I said, you could buy her clothes and books. Don't buy her shit else, because I promise you she won't get it. You can try to, I'm going to sneak this in and get, yeah, you can try to sneak that shit in. I'm going to sneak that shit right out. I'd go give it away to a kid somewhere on the street. I'd sit in the fucking Walmart parking lot, be like, hey, kid, you want this toy? Have it. Merry Christmas. But we do that so much, and we give our kids so much without them earning it, that it literally fucks them up. We are destroying our children by doing that. We're putting their mind and their morals and their values in a place to where they don't care about shit. I don't know how I got off into that tangent, but it was important, obviously.
Posting videos to social media from inside their classrooms as the shooter roamed the school. Aiden Page says his teacher stacked chairs and furniture to block the door, but even that wasn't enough to stop the bullets.
There was a bullet hole in our door. My first thought is, I might die. I need to text my parents. I need to tell them I love them.
Now, I don't know why this kid's lips was barely moving, but he made a hell of a point. Imagine your kid being in school and that kid has to come to grips that he may die. And that he needs to call his parents or text his parents and let them know, yeah, I love y'all and I appreciate everything y'all did for me. Imagine being the parent getting that text or getting that call saying, yeah, daddy, I might not make it. I'd lose my shit like any parent would. But I remember a while ago, there was a YouTuber. There was a certain YouTuber that toyed with the idea and kind of made the statement of, would it be okay if teachers had guns? If those teachers that are in the school system are willing to go through a gun safety and a gun training course, and they were allowed to conceal carry firearms in the school, would you think there could potentially be, maybe a little bit of a downtick in school shootings if kids knew that there were kids in school, there were teachers in school with guns? Or if they had a school, a resource officer in the school that actually carried a gun, had an AR-15, locked up in an office. I'm just saying. I remember there was a YouTube. I can't remember his name. I think his name was Brian Redmond. He made this statement. It was a while ago. I don't know. But just think about that. When these shootings occur, what would it be like if there was a child in the school? I mean, what would it be like if a child in the school became an active shooter and there was a teacher in a classroom with a gun? There was a resource officer in the hallway with a gun. How long do you think that active shooter would go on? How many active shooters have you all heard happening at a police station? How many active shooters have you heard of happening at a gun store? You don't. You know why? Because they know that's where the guns are. And they don't want that smoke. That's literally. They don't want it. And if you had that, and it doesn't have to be where all teachers got to go, because all teachers can't shoulder that responsibility. But I'm quite sure there are some that are capable. I'm quite sure that there's some, and not this. And my thing would be, you can't be a female with a gun in her purse. Your gun has to be on you at all times. You can't take it off. Cannot take it off. You got to have it on. If you're going to wear it, you got to wear it. You can't lock it up in a drawer. You can't put it in a cabinet. You can't set it down with your lesson plans. You can't leave it with your laptop in a case. Nope. It got to be on you. If you're going to wear it, you got to have it on you. Imagine what that would do. Kids knew that. They'd be like, you know what? Yeah, Mr. Redmond, he might shoot my motherfucking hands if we pull that shit. Nah, I ain't going to do that shit, Joe. Mr. Redmond will shoot the fuck out of us. Just saying.
Other students caught in the panic, many of them running for their lives. About 100 911 calls flooding in from faculty and students amid the chaos.
The classroom next to us, the window on the door got shot at, and that door is probably 10 feet away from the door to our classroom.
Others desperately trying to call or text home.
It's like, there's a shooter at my school.
Wow.
I just want you guys to know that I love you. And you guys mean so much to me. Thank you for everything you do.
The school alerted parents last month.
And here's my thing. So I got to read that. So Patty says, Brian, I did get that text, and that day changed my life forever. I homeschool now and have. Just imagine that. Just imagine that. You getting that? I'm telling you right now, because my daughter is so, my son, of course, but my daughter is so innocent and she is such a good person. There is such a bright light that she shines on everything. I mean, you know how people get on the news and be like, she was just the best kid ever. My kid got awards for that shit. She just got an award. She was Gator of the Month at her school. To where, because of the and it specifically said, because of what she does, helping students, saying nice things to students, being a helpful person, gave her, she was the student of the month. Last year, she's won that award. She's won an award for every year she's been at this school, to where she gets something because of the way she treats people. And that's because of the way we raised her. And it's like, I totally get the fact that, no, you can't protect your kids forever, but I promise you, anybody ever does something to harm my kid, to fuck with my kid, you won't see me marching, wearing no t-shirt, talking about justice for you won't see that. They will be laid down. Point blank, period. Because there has to be a point to where we have to stop letting the darkness put out the light. There has to be. We have to start fighting for our shining stars. We have to start fighting for our good people because it's our responsibility. If you let the darkness win time and time again, there will not be any light left. So it's like if I know what type of light my daughter is, and I'd be damned if somebody fucks with that light, extinguishes that light, or even dims that light without severe consequences. Just saying. That's me as a father. Same thing with my son. But I see it because my daughter is so much older now. I see it in her so much now. The innocence, the kindness, the lovingness, the fact that she's just willing to help anyone. That's why I don't let her go nowhere without me or her mama. You can't go nowhere. She ain't gonna go spend the night at somebody's house. She ain't gonna go get dropped off at her little birthday parties. Daddy take her to them. Go on party with your friends and run around on the little skating rink and all that. You go on, do your thing. Get out how you live. I get it. I'll sit here with your brother and we'll just wait for you. Do your thing. It's only a couple of hours. But I won't leave my kid because I don't want to jeopardize anybody fucking with her light. I just won't. Because if it does happen, there is nothing but sweet baby Jesus himself that will be able to stop me and the force of just devastation that I'm going to unleash on this world to get to that person or those people. So it's like to get a call like that, to know that your kid is in that type of danger and you can't be there. I have no words for it. I have no words for it.
Month to what it called rumors on campus, saying student interpretations of social media posts and false information have exacerbated the overall concern, but some students maintained they had heard the rumors.
So you had been hearing that there was going to be a possible shooting at the high school?
Yes, I did. I heard it multiple times.
But overnight, the sheriff says he doesn't know if those threats are connected to Tuesday's shooting and that they were never reported to his office.
There was nothing that came to us about prior concerns or threats. That's part of the investigation, that we have hundreds of people working.
And Michigan's Governor Gretchen Whitmer visibly emotional about the growing gun violence she calls a public health crisis.
I think this is every parent's worst nightmare. I hope that we can all rise to the occasion and wrap our arms around the family.
I can't comment on Gretchen because I just don't like her. But whatever. The thing is this. Why would no one call the police with the trouble that they've been having with this student? Why would there not be any type of protocol to where a kid makes any type of threat on social media, verbally, or whatever, to anyone in the school system that knows or has knowledge of this? They take no action. I'm sure that if those kids had an opportunity to say, hey, well, look, I heard that little Billy said he gonna do something to somebody. He said he hate this place. He gonna kill some people. He said it when he was going to the bathroom. And somebody don't say shit or don't do shit. It should be one of those things to where, just like when you say, hey, there's freedom of speech, but you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. And there's no fire. There's just certain things that you should not say because of the safety of others, because it could endanger others. It should be the same way in a school or wherever the case may be. If a kid says, I'm going to blow this bitch up, Your ass about to get suspended, and the police about to come to your house, and they about to launch a full investigation, and you got to see a psychiatrist before you bring your punk ass back to school, if you ain't expelled. Why you get kicked out? Because he got mad and yelled he gonna blow this bitch up. He gonna have his folks come up here and blow this bitch up. No. You don't get to do that shit. I can't tell you how many times that shit has happened when I was in school, motherfuckers. I'll blow this bitch up. I'll never forget the time when I was in high school. Shout out to PLJ, Percy L. Julie. I'll never forget the time, and I told this story, I think, a couple of times. We was in school, and the motherfucking the gangs, or the GDs and the vice lords was getting into it. So they going back and forth, and it's all kind of, drama and shit. It been happening like all week. Friday come, and I hear some of the vice lords like, man, boy, we gonna, hey man, look, Brian, man, you need to go on to the crib, bro. If you can leave early, cause these niggas, man, they talking about shooting up the school, man. A lot of lords gonna be up here at the school today, man. It's going down when motherfuckers get out of school. I'm like, word? Cool. Thanks, bro. And I called my daddy, because at that time, my daddy was a sergeant. He was in the gang crime unit. And I called my old man, and I told him, I said, Daddy, some of my friends up here told me that the vice lords is going to shoot up the school today, or they're going to be up here to fight, and they're going to have guns. So I need somebody to do something. And my old man was like, all right, don't worry. He's like, everything will be all right. He said, call me as soon as you get out of school. On everything I love, my daddy sent his team up to that school, and not a nigga was standing around. Not a nigga was standing around. Like, you couldn't just stand around and be like, yeah, we gonna go to the store, we gonna talk. Boy, all them motherfucking cars is out there like, hey, you gotta go. Keep walking. Ain't no hanging around. And they was at the J, from the tracks all the way going back to that first little bridge. That shit was on lock. You couldn't go and stand nowhere around till your ass was down there at Marcus Garvey. He had that shit on lock. That was the first time and the only time I ever called my daddy on some shit like that, but I literally had active intel that had told me what the fuck was gonna happen. Everybody ain't got no daddy who in motherfucking gang crimes. Hell yeah, I snitched stuff. But actually, it's not snitching because I wasn't gang banging. That's actually not snitching. Snitching is when you are affiliated and you tell on those that are doing the same shit you're doing. So that means if I sell drugs, Greg, and then I snitch on fellow drug dealers, then that's snitching. I'm an innocent bystander. I'm a citizen. I'm affiliated. I'm associated, not affiliated. I know the gangbangers. I'm not a gangbanger. I'm just saying. Yes, I was definitely very well associated with the GDs in my neighborhood. Shout out to 12 dudes low down all day. I get till the world blow up. I was, but I was not blessed. I was not affiliated with them. I was associated, but not affiliated. I was not in the gang. I didn't have to go to goal. I wasn't at the GD meeting. I wasn't at the folks meeting, standing in the 6-point stands. I ain't had to do none of that. But all I'm saying is, when you hear that one thing and somebody says something, hey, that's what it is. You don't fuck around with that. Now, it was my thing where the person who told me was a motherfucker that had rank, and I knew that motherfucker was serious because he didn't want shit to happen to me. And that was love. I appreciate it. But it's like, that shit was something very serious. I said something, and because I said something, to this day, I believe, man, 1 or 2 niggas probably didn't die at that time because of me saying something. And I'm saying, when you hear or see kids doing this type of shit, why don't y'all take that shit serious? Why is it just because you in fucking Oxford, fucking Michigan, you should be even more concerned being in an affluent suburb? You should be even more concerned when a kid says that. And even in the inner city, more kids and most kids get fucked up and shot up more often. But it shouldn't matter if you in the worst school in the ghetto or if you in the most pristine school in your city. A motherfucker who says some threatening shit or some skeptical shit or some shit that he could possibly mean that shit. Whether he going to Walter Payton High School or whether that motherfucker at Whitney Young or he at fucking Finger or Corliss. God damn it, you got to take that shit serious.
Families, the affected children and school personnel in this community.
And authorities say they found the alleged shooter within minutes of their arrival here yesterday. They say he surrendered without incident and he didn't say anything. And now because he's a minor, his parents have hired him a lawyer and he's been advised not to cooperate with the investigation. Robin.
Trevor, thank you.
Hell yeah, he shouldn't cooperate because he going to jail now. Ain't that what my man Tommy said? You're going to jail now. Yeah. He going to jail now, Jack. But it's one of those things to where we have to take that serious to the point to where you need to tell school officials and you need to call the police. Plain and simple. I heard a motherfucker whisper. I thought a motherfucker said. I saw a post, but it got deleted. I thought a motherfucker was talking and I heard the motherfucker say something. He's going to do something. Say that shit. But instead, we got this mentality, especially in the hood, snitches get stitches. Like my man Greg said, you snitched? Like, yes. Actually, I informed the authorities. This shit is crazy. It's like there are just certain things that you cannot take as oh, well, they was just talking. Oh, well, they were just, yeah, well, this is something that, oh, well, they just, we thought the kid was just having a bad day. Nope. You say them hot words like if you go on a plane, I'm going to blow this bitch up. You think you getting on that flight? Nigga, you going to get your ass locked up. Same way. You can't say certain shit because it's something that people ain't going to play with. Plain and simple.
And late tonight, the Oakland County prosecutor revealing potential new developments in the investigation.
There's an additional piece of evidence that hasn't been released yet.
A lot of new information coming out today about the teenage suspect and the two encounters he had with school leaders the day before and the day of the shooting.
Sadly, earlier today, a fourth victim lost his life. Mara McDonald live tonight outside the Oakland County Jail. Mara, we are learning a lot about these warning signs that seem to lead up to the shooting.
Devin, that's right, including that this suspected shooter's in-classroom behavior had become so alarming, his parents were called down to the school the day of the shooting for a conference with administrators. And investigators are saying, from what they have discovered, this was not a spur-of-the-moment decision.
And that's my thing. You got all of this information, all of this evidence leading up to this. And not to say that the kid was probably at school saying, I'm going to shoot somebody. I'm going to kill somebody in this school one day. I'm going to kill all of them. I don't know what the fuck he said. But the fact that this kid is to the point to where he's a problem to where you got to have parent-teacher conferences and shit like that. If you think that he's like mentally unstable or he's struggling mentally, his mental health is fucked up, you got to say something. You have to say something. You have to say something. Hey, look, y'all need to, I can't tell you how many times police officers get sent to do what we call a temperature check. Just to go and see what the fuck is going on with a person. Don't have to necessarily be a kid, but just period. A motherfucker say, yeah, my son's been acting real crazy and he got 4 guns at the house. I just want somebody to go and stop by and check on him and make sure he's okay. No problem, man. We'll make a stop. Hey, what you got going? Hey, man, we need to call. I want another unit to come with me. We're going to do a temperature check. Okay, we got a guy over here, he's, saying that his mom said that he wasn't really acting, he was acting weird. He didn't seem like himself. And she wants the police to come by and check on him because she knows he has guns in the house. That happens plenty of times. And sometimes you can go over there and you could just have a motherfucker that's just having a bad day. You could have a motherfucker that could just be, just not being his best version of himself. But then you could have a crazy motherfucker where you be like, hey, man, Yeah, we need to get somebody to come see this motherfucker. Or we need to go ahead and talk to this motherfucker. Or we need to get some other help for this dude. That shit happens. That shit happens. It happens plenty of times. But you have to be able to say, well, hey, we have these measures in place to where if something like this goes on, the police contacted him. The police went over there. The police went and checked in on him. The police said something. Why not? It ain't gonna hurt shit. But to have no communication to law enforcement with this happening, man, that's insane. There's no way that should have gotten that to that point to where you got somebody who's that apparently unstable to where the police aren't at least notified. Hey, man, we got this kid. Because the thing is, one of the other reasons why you want to get police involved is to make that connection. Have the police see this kid, know this kid. So if they do see the kid doing some stupid shit, they'll be like, hey, that's the kid that we saw. Or, hey, I had a run-in with this kid 2 months ago. Or, hey, this school called me about this kid 6 months ago. You know, yeah, he might be a bad apple. Let's keep an eye on him. Or whatever the case may be, you know, something. This dude, NC Fayetteville, says, say something. I check this out. So Fayetteville says, say something, nothing gets down. I guess he meant done. He spelled because, but I think he's supposed to be saying because he is covered by white privilege. Okay, so if that's the case, tell me what these little niggas that's shooting motherfuckers and killing motherfuckers doing every motherfucking weekend, what they covered under? Nigger privilege? Black, is that black privilege? Huh? Let's play your game. Black privilege is what's happening in Chicago. Y'all do know Chicago just went over 1,000 murders. Ain't had that many murders since 1994. Mm-hmm. So what is that? Can you explain that? What type of privilege is that? Because obviously nothing's getting done when you got 1,000 murders in your city. So tell me what that is. 3.8 GPA. Explain that. That's why I love when niggas play the race card. Because every time a nigga play the race card and you give them the same shit back to them, they have no response or they aren't able to speak to it. Calvin says white privilege. Michael said white privilege. The privilege of being demonized for things the accusers are doing whilst they play victim. He said dying and going to jail. Who the fuck is doing the killing if they dying? Who's doing the killing if they're dying? What is being done about that? The beef that's happening on the block. Everybody knows who the players are. Everybody knows who the ops is. How come they not saying nothing? Is that not nigger privilege? Just saying. But let's carry on. Calvin said, Brian, this is a budget issue. Is this a budget issue not to have armed security guards in schools now? Yes, it is funding. Absolutely. There used to be a thing called school resource police officers in Chicago, but because police officers ain't prevalent no more in the city, that's what happens. Just saying. He said it is 2 minutes behind. I don't know. Yeah. Let me double check and make sure my chat is where it's supposed to be. There's no delay. Shouldn't be. Nope, no message delay. Slow mode is not on. And yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. Yep, and it's ultra low latency, so we're good. All right, let me go ahead and keep going. I just have to make sure my shit was together.
Madison, Tate, Hannah, and today, Justin all dead after a 15-year-old student at Oxford High went on a rampage yesterday, with 7 others, including a teacher, wounded.
Sir, do you understand all the charges against you?
Yes, I do.
Ethan Crumbly was charged with 24 counts, including terrorism and first-degree murder in a crime the prosecutor says was no spur-of-the-moment decision.
Judge, a preliminary review of the defendant's social media accounts, his cell phone, as well as other document evidence recovered on scene show that this defendant planned the shooting. He deliberately brought the handgun that day with the intent to murder as many students as he could.
The accused shooter's behavior had raised red flags before yesterday.
We have since learned that the schools did have contact with the student the day before and the day of the shooting.
Yesterday, before the shooting, that 15-year-old's parents were brought to school for a face-to-face meeting with school administrators over his classroom behavior. Just under 3 hours later, school cameras recorded him.
And what's depicted on that video, honestly, Judge, I don't have the words to describe how horrific that was.
The accused shooter seen coming out of a bathroom and firing, aiming for students' heads with a gun his father bought last Friday. His parents, who briefly appeared during his arraignment, are also facing potential charges.
And my thing is this, and this brings up the other question that I had with this. Should the parents be charged?
With the right of owning a gun comes responsibility. And the responsibility of a gun owner is to securely store that weapon and to keep it out of the hands of somebody who could kill people. And in this case, that does not seem to have happened.
Prosecutor McDonald says she's limited with what she can share at this point, but did say this late tonight.
There's an additional piece of evidence that hasn't been released yet, but I can assure you it was troubling, it was disturbing, and unfortunately, he was allowed to go back to class.
Back here live, that 15-year-old is being charged as an adult in this case.
Yep.
He has since been moved here to the Oakland County Jail. The judge said no bond, and his attorney entered a not guilty plea for him. We are at the Oakland County Jail tonight. I'm Mara McDonald.
Now, here's my thing. And yep, I thank you, Solo. If you're going to charge the parents, then wouldn't you charge the faculty? They didn't let the police know anything. Failure to notify the police or the authorities about potentially somebody's life being in danger. Because technically, in my opinion, the gun was stolen. He didn't legally own that gun. That wasn't his gun. He took it from his parents. They stole the gun, I guess. Now they're saying that there's a text message to where the mom was saying, don't do this or don't do something. So I guess he may have told them what he was going to do. But it's like, what do you charge them with? And what is the penalty for it for something that their 15-year-old kid did? And then my thing would be, if you're going to make the parents responsible or make the parents culpable, why wouldn't the rest of the authorities in the school system be held responsible too? If my kid was one of those kids that got hurt in this, I would hold the parents responsible and the school responsible and whoever the fuck else had something to do with this that knew about this kid. Not to say that we didn't know he was going to kill somebody. Yeah, but you knew he was fucked up in the brain and nobody said anything. There could have been some type. Do y'all realize that there could have been some level of intervention to where a psychologist could have came and had a session with this kid that could have prevented this? You do realize that, right? There's not like this kid was just destined to be an active shooter. Early enough intervention from a mental health professional could have helped this kid. Just saying. We don't know. So it's like, if you're going to hold them accountable, you're going to charge the parents, then what does that mean for all the other kids that do shit like this? Are we going to start charging the parents in the hood who kids kill people? Y'all tell me. Are we going to start charging parents of the kids that drunk drive and kill people? At what point or where does it end? If you want to hold parents accountable, well, let me go back to something I said earlier, about a year or two ago. So then, therefore, those parents that let their underage children go to the studio with R. Kelly, are we going to charge them parents too? Are we going to cancel them? Those parents that allowed their children at 17 years old to get on a flight to go to Florida to hang out with R. Kelly to become a star, and R. Kelly made him a sex slave, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He was fucking on their kids. Are we going to charge them? You tell me, where does it stop? Because if you're going to hold these parents accountable, then I'm saying hold them accountable. I'm saying hold them accountable. I mean, if you're going to do it, do it. Don't just pick and choose when you want to do it. These parents that do this shit, I mean, this is the same country where a mother left her child in a car for over, 4 hours with no AC while she was getting her weave put in. Her kid died. She then tried to cover it up and got found out by the police. And when they took her to court, you know what the fucking judge said? This is a parent that just had a bad day. Mm-hmm. This is a parent who just had a bad day, is how she summed up what the fuck this single mother did by killing her child because she wanted to get her fucking hair weaved and didn't want to bring her into the shop. Didn't want to find a babysitter. And then after the kid, she got back to the car and saw that the car wasn't on and saw that the kid was dead because she hadn't checked on the kid in over 4 hours and found out that the kid was dead. She didn't try to cover it up. What the fuck? But she just had a bad day. But now we're going to charge these people. All I'm saying is we have to have some clear lines defined as to what we are going to do and what we're not going to do, because this picking and choosing shit, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. I'm just saying. It's bullshit. And depending on who it is and the type of climate that's going on in the country could determine if you go to jail for the rest of your life or if you get off scot-free. Plain and simple. The same country that you want to grill R. Kelly, you want to send him to the gas chamber, you want to go ahead and put this kid and this kid's parents under the jail. I'm fine with that. But Centoya Brown can kill a man in his fucking sleep, steal his money, steal his gun, steal his truck, and we get her back out on jail because she was abused. Just saying. Where does it end? Where does it end? You have to look at what the overall picture is and what we're going to do as a society and say, hey, here's where the line is drawn. This is what you can, this is what you can't do. And stick to it, regardless of who does a crime, regardless of their background, their financial status, regardless of the color of their skin, regardless of how pretty or how ugly they look, it should be the same. If you do this, that's your ass. That's it. That's it. Let's go ahead and watch this next one. And yeah, this one was really something here. Oh, come on. Come on, you. There we go.
In Oxford, Michigan, the 15-year-old who authorities say killed 4 high school classmates made his first court appearance today. He was charged as an adult with 4 counts of first-degree murder in yesterday's mass shooting, as well as assault and weapons charges and a rare count of terrorism causing death. Though his name, by necessity, is now on the criminal docket, it'll not be part of our reporting. Instead, for a moment, we want to focus attention where it belongs on the names of the 4 young men and women whose lives he allegedly took, and what we know about those lives. And it saddens and sickens me every time we do this, because their stories and honoring their lives, which is the least we can do.
Oh, and please click that like button. Those of you that are watching, click the like button, please. And you can click that donate button. Just go to the top of the chat and you can absolutely donate to your boy for giving you this wonderful commentary. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. But please click that like button.
So the most, it seems, that anyone can do. In addition to excelling academically, Tate Meir was a varsity football star. A friend and teammate telling CNN he was a great person, a great leader, someone who always wanted to make sure that everyone was okay and involved in everything he could. There's a petition online to rename the school football stadium after him. As of this morning, more than 48,000 people have signed it. Tate Meir died in a police car on the way to the hospital. He was just 16 years old. 17-year-old Madison Baldwin, she was expected to graduate this school year and had already been accepted to several colleges, some with full scholarships.
I gotta say that Mike Parkinson said, and the black kid shot 2 to 3 people had got bail. This white privilege is very ironic. Isn't it funny how, and just in just all reality, it's funny how when it comes time to see a white person do something, it's all about justice. But when niggas get away with shit, it's all about silence. Niggas be quiet than a motherfucker when niggas get away with shit. Quiet than a motherfucker. Niggas don't say shit when niggas get away with some fuck shit. When niggas do fuck shit, niggas don't say a goddamn word. Niggas be quiet as church mice. Pissing on cotton. Just quiet. It's amazing. Just because you deserve it. Thank you so much, Albania. I appreciate it. But isn't it funny how we never scream justice or scream injustice when shit apparently goes our way? I've said this in a couple of shows ago. I can't tell you how many niggas I know that have killed people flat out and gotten off because of self-defense. Saying like, yeah, he said he was going to kill me, so I killed him before he killed me. Well, do you have any evidence of that? No, but just people just heard it say it. People told me that they was going to kill me. Shout out to my man, Teron Jones. Hit your boy with $10. Thank you. It's like it happens. It happens. Then you talk about 80% of shootings in Chicago have gone unsolved. How come niggas ain't marching up and down the streets talking about justice for Trevante, justice for Durango, justice for justice for Traviante? Niggas that get killed by niggas, ain't nobody walking the streets and setting up vigils talking about justice for them. They have vigils, they light them candles, and they take their punk asses home. And they know the niggas that killed them. But you will never hear them say justice for my cousin Tariq. Justice for Deravante. You'll never hear it. But the minute a white person is a white police officer or whatever the fuck happens, does something to a nigga, then it's justice for fill in the blank. It's so disingenuous. That's why so many people don't give a fuck about the shit. But your liberal and pro-blacks. That's why you don't get the traction that you want, because it's just bullshit. Lance said the parents just got arrested in Detroit. Man, let me tell you something about these parents. If I was them parents, I would have been on the run too. And here's why. I was talking to my brother Easy about this earlier today. It's not that they're running to get away, because you ain't getting away, but you want to run because you want to get your shit together. You got to talk to a lawyer. You want to be able to make moves, get your affairs in order, make sure bills and shit are paid, because once you go to jail, you don't know what the fuck the judge is going to do. But when you in jail, you ain't just sitting in jail with no phone. You ain't sitting in jail with your own cell phone, calling motherfuckers, seeing what's going on. No, you going to jail, you in jail, nigga. They putting your ass in lockup, and that's it. You get a call when your lawyer come. You get a call when we tell you get a call. But it's a lot of shit you want to get in place before you just go off to jail. If I had to go to jail for some shit that I got accused of, it's a lot of shit I want to make sure is already done. I want to make sure that my family knows what's happening. I want to make sure that we got a lawyer lined up. I want to make sure that we got funds and shit in order to do what we need to do. I may need to move some money, take some cash out, and do shit like that. I may need to sell my Sheba stock before I get locked up. So when you see people like this running, they not running, they getting their shit together. Just like what niggas do. When niggas shoot and kill motherfuckers and they get on the run, they not running saying, I'm just going to get away for forever. No, I got shit I need to do. I got to make sure I got my money to my re-up. I got my money for my re-up going. I got to make sure that I pay off the motherfucker that got the money for the dope I just bought. I got to make sure I pay off my consignment. It's a lot of shit you got to do. You just can't be out willy-nilly and then go to jail and hope everything work out. No. I got $10,000 in my sock drawer. I can't just leave that around. I got to go get that to my mama so she can pay for my lawyer. I'm just telling you. You can't just leave shit like that, just go to jail and think, oh, I can make all my phone calls in jail. No, nigga. You can't do that. And then they charge your ass $30 for a phone call. You in jail. Y'all niggas know how much they charge, man. Do you know how much it costs to be in jail to have shit? Swiping them cards, I mean not swiping them cards, but the credit cards and shit that them motherfucking bills you incur while being in jail to have food, to make phone calls, and shit, all that shit costs every call. I'm telling you. So it's like you gotta have certain shit in place and get certain shit together. Talk to your lawyer. I would rather talk to my lawyer and get my game plan together in his office or in my safe house than I would sitting in a goddamn jail cell. Just saying. And not even to talk about the safety part of it. You go in there for the wrong, being accused of the wrong thing, somebody might whoop your ass while you in jail. How many times have y'all seen that picture? That was my cousin that your son killed, bro. Telling you, what if you get in jail and they give your ass some obscene bail amount? $500,000 for bail, nigga. Cash. How the fuck I'm gonna raise that? My house only worth $250. Now you gotta sit your ass in jail all this time because you can't afford to bail out, to bond out. Just saying. That shit matters. So you got a lot of moving parts to life, let alone your case that you want to get together. And I'm telling you like this, I'd rather do that shit sitting in my home or sitting in my grandmama's house or sitting in a hotel room somewhere than to be doing that shit at the motherfucking county jail. Just saying.
Family says she was an artist who loved to draw. Writing on social media today, her grandmother said this beautiful, smart, sweet, loving girl was tragically taken from us all today, leaving a huge hole in all our hearts. Hannah St. Juliana, well, she was just 14. She played on the school basketball team. Teammates tweeting today, we'll never forget your kind heart, silly personality, and passion for the game. This season, they wrote, we play for you, Hannah. And Justin Schilling, who died this morning, worked at an area restaurant chain that employed many students from Oxford High. The company put out a statement today. Here's some of it. Justin was an exemplary employee, devoted friend and co-worker, co-captain of his bowling team, and simply a pleasure to be around. Justin Schilling was 17.
That's fucked up.
7 others, 6 students.
And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to play this part, is because it's like just watching this, and I know everybody in a fan of CNN, but my thing was this. The fallout from this and the people that have lost their lives, the families that are affected by this, you got to remember these 4 kids, these 3 kids and this adult, these are somebody's nephew, somebody's niece, somebody's sister, somebody's brother, somebody's cousin. And for somebody to die just because they were in school, just because somebody decided that they're going to take somebody's life, when you look at that kind of shit and you see the fallout from that, this should hopefully encourage more people that see something to say something than ever before, because it could be your people next time. The next school could be your own. The next school could be your nieces. The next school could be your nephews. So when you hear these people saying this outlandish shit, when your kids see these people posting these outlandish posts on social media, maybe, just maybe, it'll encourage them and it'll put the responsibility on them to take ownership and to say something to somebody. Take a screenshot and call the police and email the shit in. Take a screenshot and send it to your parents. Take a screenshot and send it to your school principal. Maybe this will make parents take it more serious to where they tell their children, if you hear a motherfucker whispering some fuck shit, you tell me. You ain't got to go tell, you ain't got to go be a snitch and go tell the staff. You tell me, I'll tell staff. You take a screenshot of it and you send it to me. You listen, you hear a motherfucker say some wild shit. Don't think that they playing. Take it seriously. Just saying. That shit matters. I mean, to get that damn man off the screen. I mean, you got to realize it's like the fact that he's doing this. I'm not a big fan of this dude, but the thing is, right is right. And the fact that he took the time out to point this shit out on this show about those victims, he getting that time on my screen. Because that shit really does matter. These people didn't have shit to do with what the fuck this kid was doing. And the fact that this kid has affected and impacted these people's lives forever. Because, yeah, we gonna watch this shit and follow this shit for the next couple weeks or the next couple months. But next year, this time around Thanksgiving, for these families, it's gonna be hard for them. Next year, this time around Christmas, it's gonna be hard for them. Next year, around this time for their birthday, it's gonna be hard for them. That's the shit that we don't think about. That's the shit that we take for granted. That's the shit that we don't consider when we see this. Yeah, we just see what happened. We just know what had happened was. We can just see what they had did. But there are kids that are literally not here anymore. And their parents, their cousins, their brothers, their sisters, their friends, their aunts, their uncles will have to remember this next year and the year after that and the year after that and the year after that. I know, no problem. I know you're just playing. But you have to respect that. You have to understand that. Shout out to Patty. Thank you so much. You hit your boy with 1999. She says, okay, until I can get my membership done, I gotta hit you up this way. I absolutely love what you stand for. I'm a ride or die supporter. DJ Just Jay sent me a minute ago and been here since. Love me some you. Keep spitting facts. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. How can I get on a new level? You can get on a new level by clicking that membership button, Nickel City Don. But I'm just saying the things that happen after this, that's the kind of stuff that I think about and that I realize as to why I felt that this was so important. Because, yeah, I'm going to play it once on my show, but these people got to actually live with this loss. And I'm telling you, living with the loss of a loved one is one thing, but living with the loss of somebody that is in a situation to where they didn't have anything to do with this shit. They wasn't arguing with a person. They wasn't fighting with a person. They wasn't fucking this person's significant other. They wasn't doing nothing but just being a student. And they gone. That's fucked up on a whole different level.
A teacher was shot and wounded yesterday, and our thoughts are with all of them and all those families in pain tonight. You'll not see the suspect's face on the program tonight, but you will hear the evidence authorities have as to what the suspect did and said leading up to the shooting and during it. As CNN's Adrian Broaddus reports, some of it is potentially damning, not to mention horrifying.
The suspect appeared virtually in court as police described the shooting, and his attorney.
Oh, that's a great question, Calvin. So Calvin said, I like Calvin because he always giving those good thought-provoking questions. Calvin says, how much jail time should he get because he's a minor? When you do something like this, he should get life. He should get life. 25 with an L. Yes. He should get life. we should never see him on these streets ever again. Just saying, regardless of his childhood, regardless of what had happened to him as a kid, all that taken into account, he should get life. He's 15 and he should not see the light of day again for what he did. He just shouldn't. Could he at some point, the only reason why I'm not saying the death penalty is because there's still some part of his life that he can possibly use to have some type of, to have some redemption to what he's done. But I'm not a big fan of the death penalty, you know, for a lot of situations. I mean, it would really have to be something just way the fuck left. I mean, way left to do that. But I believe definitely, because I think that people in jail, literally, I bullshit you not. You have a felony, oh, your ass should be working. Slave labor, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Your ass should be out there doing all of the shit that needs to be done in the city or state that you from to work and do shit like that. I do. I really do. Motherfuckers that you see picking weeds, picking cotton, I don't give a fuck. Your ass got a felony like that, you go and work. I'm talking working your ass to the bone like LeQuint Dickey. You get some, I'm talking about you get convicted of some egregious shit like this. Your ass did it. Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy. Yes, sir. You doing 15 years, 20 years, some shit? Yes. Put your ass on the chain gang where you be like in, what was that, In the Color Purple? Where them motherfuckers was like, moving that train track like, who, oh, yeah, who, oh, yeah, who, keep moving now, who, oh, yeah, who. I'm telling you. Painting the buses, painting streets, I don't give a fuck. Cutting grass, your ass should have to work like a motherfucker. Just saying. LeQuint Dickey style. We gonna work your ass until your back break, and then we gonna hit you over the head and toss your ass down into a hole. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, that's just what I think. Your ass sitting there, a motherfucker sitting up on death row and ain't doing shit but pressing weights and taking other motherfuckers shit and taking niggas' asses and shit like that. Nope. These motherfuckers is out here in these fields, y'all gonna be too tired to fuck each other. Go do 12 hours out in the motherfucking field, motherfucking cutting grass, or go spend 12 hours doing some shit. You gonna come back to the motherfucking joint like, man, I want to go to sleep. I ain't trying to fuck nobody. Man, I ain't gonna try to. I ain't trying to rape that nigga. I'm tired, nigga. My dick don't even work. I'm so tired. I'm telling you, all that shit where these niggas ain't doing shit but getting stronger in the motherfucking joint so they can stab motherfuckers they don't like. Fuck that. Your ass got to do that time. You gonna do that time working the fuck in these fields, picking up trash on the expressway, picking up roadkill. I don't give a fuck. Just saying. That's what they should do. But
not guilty plea on his behalf.
He methodically and deliberately walked down the hallway, aiming the firearm at students and firing. Right outside the bathroom, he began firing, Judge. This continued on for approximately 5 minutes. The defendant went to another bathroom. As deputies arrived, he set the firearm down and he surrendered.
The suspect's parents also watching the proceedings via video. As police detailed videos the suspect recorded on his cell phone and his journal writings.
The night before the incident, wherein he talked about shooting and killing students the next day at Oxford High School. Further, a journal was recovered from Ethan's backpack, also detailing his desire to shoot up the school to include murdering students.
And let me just say this. I believe that, y'all don't realize this because a lot of us are just really spoiled. Americans are spoiled. Jails in other countries, you don't get all of the shit that you get here. Motherfuckers here in jail get TVs, Walkman, internet, phone. They get all kind of food and snacks and shit. Man, please. You go into other prisons, you go to jail in other countries. I remember a lady used to do my feet, used to do my pedicure. She was telling me about prison. She was Vietnamese. And shout out to Sammy. And when she was telling me about what it's like in her country, she said, well, no motherfucker, your ass go to prison, you go to jail over there. Hear this. You go to jail over there. She said, when your ass go to jail, you don't get to eat unless your family brings you food. You don't have clothes unless your family brings you clothes. Imagine that. Your ass go to jail and you don't get clothes, you don't get food unless your family brings it for you. Right, yes, I've watched, Glenda, I've watched Locked Up Abroad. I'm telling you, people don't realize the shit that they get here, the rights that prisoners have here. A motherfucker will come from another country and love to go to jail here. Get 3 square meals a day. I got a motherfucking blanket, got me a pillow. It may not be the best, but I got something. And I got rights. I'm telling you, when you see the shit that these motherfuckers have to go through, and I just thought about it. I said, damn, so if you ain't got no family, what the fuck happened? She says, your ass is short. She said, that's you fuck. Whatever the fuck the jail might get your ass, that's it, but they don't give you shit. That's it. Ain't no rules or no laws to where they gotta take care of your ass. You did the crime, your ass in jail, that's it. You locked up, they won't let you out, no. That's just what they do. And it's like, that makes sense. Here's the thing. I know people say, well, you know, you still a human being and shit like that. Yeah, you are, but you got to look at what it is that you're doing and what you did. Where's the humanity in that? Now, I'm not talking about petty crime. Motherfucker stole some bread or some shit like that. I'm talking about these motherfucking hardcore felonies, nigga. I shot 5 people because they was ops. We do too much for these motherfuckers here. I'm telling you. And that's why I said, if they gonna have all the shit that they have, goddamn it, they should be some of the hardest working motherfuckers in this goddamn country. And it should be as a deterrent too. Think about it like this. These motherfuckers get locked up, even if they got to do 5 years or 15. But they get locked up and they literally, all they do for the most part is eat, work out, do certain activities, read, get fed, watch TV, and that's it. Some of them get to go to school. And I understand the whole rehabilitation thing. And you can do the rehabilitation thing to some degree, especially when it comes to, you know, certain petty crimes and shit like that. Motherfucker get caught, you know, selling a dime bag or some shit like that, selling some weed or some coke or whatever. Yeah, that motherfucker can turn their life around. But when you sitting up there and you done motherfucking shot 4 people or some shit like, man, come on here now, buddy.
The Oxford, Michigan school student shot 11 people on Tuesday, killing 4, after a meeting with his parents and school authorities earlier that same day. We were with the Pittman family learning about one of the victims, Tate Meir, from his friend Devon.
He's probably the best person I'll probably meet, besides my dad and besides God. Tate was he was smart in class. Me and him used to joke around, me and him used to play.
And then, news, another classmate died.
Oh, Justin. Justin. No. I knew Justin.
That was this boy.
Javon described calling his dad during the shooting.
I was whispering because I didn't want the shooter to hear me and my classmates. And my dad was just asking me what's going on, what's happening. And then I told him it's a shooting. Somebody's here shooting up the school. And then he told me, he said, okay, I'm on my way.
Why your dad? Is he your superhero?
Yes.
You don't hear that shit too often, do you? Which is another reason why I played this video. Black family, even though mama had that weave in her hair, I'm gonna give her a pass. Black family, you got a kid who's very well spoken, kid that knows how to act, ain't on TV talking no, they had this, had that, had this, and what they talking about, what none of that shit, sitting there with his father. He said, who's your fucking superhero? As my dad, goddammit. And you see how he looked over at his daddy? That motherfucker, that's what the fuck we need to see more of, instead of a motherfucker standing out there, when can we put the guns down with a bonnet on? Ain't no bonnet sitting there. Ain't no green hair. Ain't no purple and white braids. Ain't none of that shit. And these motherfuckers ain't the Cosbys, but goddammit, they at least look respectable. And yes, they're in a nice neighborhood and from a nice community probably, but it's like, man, why the fuck can't we have more people like this that look like us? Especially when they be on the news.
You can't save your kids. That's devastating.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather been the one that got shot than my kids.
Afraid for their lives, other students sheltered in their classroom, barricading the entry, refusing to open the door for authorities.
Close the door. We're not taking that risk right now.
Exactly. Did you hear that? Them kids said, we're not taking that risk right now. Fuck that. We're not taking that risk right now. And my thing is this, to be in that situation, what if that was the shooter on the other side? What if that shooter was shooting into that classroom? I'm just saying like this, for me, because of the type of person I am, I want to be in a situation to where I can defend myself. Because I understand that the response, my own personal safety is my responsibility. It is my responsibility. I want to be responsible for me protecting myself and my loved ones. I do. And I want to have the tools to do it. So when I got a motherfucker telling me to just buy a shotgun, that's why I'm so offended by hearing shit like that. Because the people that protect our commander-in-chief, them motherfuckers don't have shotguns. They got P90s. Just saying.
And then escaping through a classroom window, following the training they never wanted to use. When police took the suspect into custody on Tuesday, he still had 18 rounds of ammunition. Tonight in Oxford, Michigan, families are now left with a nightmare that for some will never end.
That I'm turning off the light and I have my kids, but Sherry and Buck don't have tape. I can turn off the light and know they're in the room, but there's some parents that room is going to be empty.
Adrian Broadus joins us now from Oxford.
Very true. That's very true. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's like the reality of this shit that we're seeing is totally different for those who are actually in a situation where they actually lost somebody. Yeah, Lance, I did notice that he was like, yeah, open the door, bro. Like, this is the police, bro. I don't know if that was him or if that was the shooter or if that was an actual the actual police. Because it could have been a police officer trying to be cool and trying to, sound more down to earth so that they would trust him. I'm not sure. I actually tried to listen to the kid when he was getting arraigned, saying that he understood the charges. I was trying to compare that voice to that voice in the video, and I couldn't delineate between the two. I couldn't decide if that was him or not. So I thought that too, because the way he said bro, and even the kids noticed it, like he said bro, that's not he not the police, and it could have been him, but I couldn't really tell. And I'm sure that'll come out eventually with the video. I'm sure, because there's video footage of this. I'm sure that's gonna come out at some point, but I couldn't really tell the difference between the two. And I sure enough tried to compare it, but I couldn't. Well, I compared it, but I couldn't tell the difference.
What more are authorities saying about the suspect's parents?
Anderson, we learned the suspect's father purchased the gun that was used in the shooting 4 days prior. Earlier today, during a news conference, the prosecuting attorney said the suspect's parents could face charges. When CNN pressed, asking if there was evidence to support those potential charges, she didn't go into detail. But late this evening, she did say it is important for gun owners to properly secure their weapons, and I'm paraphrasing there. Meanwhile, you saw in that story, the Pittman family was vulnerable with us. They're struggling right now with forgiveness. If you walk into their home, you'll notice they are Christians. Bible verses hang on the wall. Javon Pittman said he's going to miss his two friends. It was tradition for him and his varsity teammates. They all play football together. Every Thursday, they would meet at Tate's home for dinner ahead of their Friday night football games. And this is their senior year, a time when those students are supposed to be creating the most memorable moments. But what happened inside of this high school is something they say will haunt them forever.
And that's so true.
Adrian brought us
to me.
I appreciate the interview. Thank you.
That's so true. It's like these kids ain't gonna forget that shit, man, for years to come. And it's like, and my thing was, though, because they were saying that was an undercover officer. I think that was Asaya said, when the undercover officer used the word bro, that was a red flag for the students. I get that. And here's the thing. It's like a lot of times, especially in these suburban areas, in these affluent suburban areas, the police are trying to be cool because they're not from that life. So they try to do shit to try to be cool, to try to be familiar with the kids. And sometimes that shit don't work. Clearly in this situation, like I said, I don't know for sure if that was the police or if that was the shooter, if it was undercover, whatever the case may be, they still should not have identified themselves like that. When we had active shooter training as law enforcement officers, we were taught to identify ourselves as officers, showing our badge, slide our badge to the door, hold it up to the door, whatever the case may be, actually showing them that we are police. If he was an undercover going through school like that, he shouldn't have been trying to get into a room because he's in plain clothes. You look like you could potentially be a shooter, because we don't know who the shooter is at that point. They didn't know who the actual shooter was. They heard the shots and they barricaded themselves in. So it's like, if you're going to go around and try to get in the rooms, you should have uniformed guys with you. You should have guys showing enough that where they say, oh, that is the police. The motherfucker got on to you. He's like, hey, I am officer such and such. Here is my badge number 6268. Here is my ID. Here is my uniform. I am at the door. Please come and verify with me so that I can get in here so we can get you out. There are several other officers with me. The other officers sounding off saying, yeah, I am Officer Boyd. I'm Officer Boyd. I'm Officer Warnowski. You need to be able to say that to identify yourself and have credentials and the uniform on, or be with a unit that has that. You should not be the first motherfucker at the door in plain clothes talking about, I'm the police, let me in. Yeah, right, motherfucker. Come on, bro. Open the door. What? Man, get the fuck out my face. I'm not buying that. And especially since I don't have no gun, I ain't gonna be too keen to come and let you in no way, motherfucker. So it's like, you have to look at that. It's like, I don't know why he would, if that was the police, if that was an undercover officer, he was being a dumbass because he in plain clothes. He should have had at least a uniform officer with him, or he should have been with a uniform unit to where he can identify himself. Plain and simple. Because a kid ain't gonna believe that a bunch of fucking uniformed cops are here to do an active shooter. I'm just saying. That's just what it is. She said, questioning, what do you think about the mama that did the video saying that her son and his friends had been advised to not attend school that day? They didn't know why. Just don't come. Now, if that, I don't know about that, if that happened or not, but if that happened and the mama didn't say shit, she ain't shit bitch. If she kept her kids home and she didn't say shit, or even if she let her kids go and she knew that and her kids told her that, she ain't shit bitch. A day of school or telling a school, this is what I heard, they told my kids this and my kids ain't going to school, I suggest y'all do something about it, fine. If she didn't say shit, she's an ain't shit bitch. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Mermaid said every level of schools needs to have active shooting drills because it happens it even happens in elementary school. Yeah, they do. They do that now. The thing is, though, it's like, it's not about having an active shooter drill. It's about trying to combat an active shooter. That's just my philosophy. It's like, I don't want to be in an active shooter drill and I can't do shit with an active shooter. But hope and pray and wish in the corner. I'm not that guy. I don't want to be hoping and wishing and praying that he don't get in and get my black ass. No.
Hi, Sarah. Some breaking news for you from the news on CNBC. There is a manhunt underway in a small town in Michigan now for these two parents. They're the parents of the teenager accused of killing 4 students and wounding 7 others in that high school shooting rampage in Oxford, Michigan. The news comes just hours after that same couple was charged with 4 counts each of involuntary manslaughter. The DA there says they were criminally negligent regarding their son and his shooting. The county sheriff says its fugitive task force, along with U.S. Marshals and the FBI, are all searching for the couple, and that they should be avoided if anyone sees them. They stopped responding to phone calls, according to the sheriff, phone calls and texts from their attorney. Their arraignment was scheduled to happen just about 35 minutes ago. Well, just moments ago, their lawyer reported to the Newswire services that they didn't flee at all, but relocated for their own safety.
You see that? And basically what they mean is what I said earlier. Y'all trying to get y'all shit together. You got business to get together, and you don't want to do that shit being locked up. I'm just telling you, I'm not doing that shit. If I know that I'm wanted by the police, I don't mind turning myself in once I got my legal team together, once I got my affairs in order, because I got a life and I got a family and I got shit that I'm responsible for. I'm just saying, I just do. I'm not going to do that shit hoping and wishing and praying that a bailiff, a detention officer do the right thing. I'm not doing that shit.
That said, law enforcement is still looking for them, and there is a lot of questioning going on right now about what they did with their kids in the time, their child, in the time leading up to that particular shooting. The sheriff has gone on all 3 major news networks in America over the past 30 minutes, asking for help finding the 2 parents. At the same time, their lawyers say they're not missing, and yet they didn't show up for court. The news is still breaking, updates as they come in. Tonight, we're live in Michigan with the latest on this shooting investigation on the news, right after Jim Cramer, 7 Eastern, CNBC. Sarah, back to you.
Hey, I don't blame him. Like I said, I totally understand that. I totally understand that. I'm not just going to turn myself in and don't have my shit together. I'm not doing that. The system ain't set up to where you can get your shit together, because all they going to do is you going to go to jail, turn yourself in. They going to want to ask you questions. You going to say, I want my lawyer. And they're literally going to have you sit until you get arraigned. And then if your ass get locked up or go to jail on a Friday night on the weekend, and you can't, and ain't no night court, now your ass in jail for the whole weekend. They ain't gonna see you till Monday. Fuck that. I want to have my shit together. Look, here goes money. Put this on my books. Come see me tomorrow so I can make sure we get all this shit together. Make sure I'm good. We start working on our defense and all. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be the motherfucker. I just turned myself in. Now I'm gonna wait it out. Nope. These kids were smart as shit. They said, fuck that. They were in a life or death situation. Guess what they wanted? They wanted to fucking live. If that was my daughter, I'd be so proud. I mean, my thing is this though. When you look at what happened and being in that room, that shit could have went the other way just like that. What if it was more than one shooter? What if that shooter was determined and had the right type of firearm to get in that motherfucker? What if the shooter was on the other side of that wall and was going inside the other where the window was at? It's so many different caveats as to what could go wrong. That's exactly why I'm saying the best way to combat this shit, it ain't about doing a bunch of drills. It's about having a complete solution. I need to be able to have the drills and I need to be able to defend myself if the shit comes my way. I love the fact at my job, I can carry my gun. I love it. Because if I ever hear that dreadful bang one day, I know that my chances of survival are definitely dramatically increased. Just saying. I'm going to make sure that I put myself in a position to where I'm going to have a lot of options to survive, as opposed to hope, I got to just pray that this person don't get in this room. I got to hope that this door lock holds up. I got to hope and pray that this window is going to withstand this bullet. I don't want to live like that. And I don't want to be in a situation like that. And we have that so bad, especially us. We got this hoping and a wishing and a praying thing to where we hope don't nothing bad happen. We pray to God that the worst don't come. And you can't live like that. I don't ever want to live like that. Shout out to my man Nickel City Don. Hit your boy up with the relationship rehab. He is now a member. Yo, Nickel City, you, sir, are on a new level.
I'm on a new level. I'm on it. I'm on a new level. I'm on it. I'm on a new level. I'm on it. I'm on a new level. I'm on a new level.
Yeah, that's what's up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But here's one of my other points, and I'm gonna finish it up with this. When you look at what we're doing as far as gun control, there is no gun control that stops this. There is no gun control that stops this. There is no, if we didn't have guns, this wouldn't have happened. There isn't one that doesn't stop this. Because here's my thing. Yeah, he got this gun from his parent, his father, who just bought it 4 days ago. If it was a gift for him or not, don't matter. The same way he got that gun, he could have went and got an illegal gun. He could have drove his ass to Detroit, went over on 7th Mile, went to one of the gas stations or something, and for $50 to $100 could have got a gun the same exact way and went and did the same exact thing. Just saying. The fact that people think and will try to use this as an opportunity, this is why we need more gun control. This is why we got to get this gun control. The same gun that I bought legally is the same gun I can get illegally to do whatever crime that I want to do. And there is no way that you're going to stop illegal guns from getting on the streets. It's too many of them and they're here. There's just no way. So it's like when you're talking about the things that happen, and gotcha. When you talk about things that happen, to us that's gun related, it's not the fact that it's too many guns on the street. It's not the fact that there are guns everywhere and that's why this stuff keep happening. It's the fact that the gun laws and the fact that people don't carry guns in all these different places. That's part of the reason as to why stuff like this happens and the numbers are so high. Because you would still have stuff happening. You would still have things to where people can't, will have guns and they will still do shit. You still will have weapons and people will go do shit. But the thing is, though, when you have that counter balance, that counterweight, that counter to that offensive, that defense to that offense, then now you have people that will take into account, hey, I could be rivaled here. Somebody else could have this. Somebody else could do this. Think about the active shooters that happen or the shootings that happen in most of these anti-gun, democratic, liberal cities, and think about those same type of shootings and stuff that occur in these cities where they are pro 2A. Excuse me. You see, it's not as frequent. It's just not, because there are more people here with guns, more good guys with guns, than there are with just bad guys with guns. So that makes a big difference. And when you have that responsibility to where you have more people that are in a pro 2A culture, then you have a lot less things like this happening. Not that it fixes it, but it definitely curbs it substantially. That's all that is. So I think that this is a good place to end it. Let me see how long I have been going. Oh, just a little bit over 2 hours. That's not bad. I'm proud of myself. I thought it was going to be longer than that. Yeah. That's good. So I would say this, when you're talking about this situation and what's going to happen, hopefully we'll get all the information and all the details and stuff will begin to unfold. But I'm telling you, man, I like the idea of being in control of my own destiny when it comes to my life, when it comes to me being able to survive, than hoping and wishing and praying that somebody else follows the law and does what the law says you ain't supposed to do. They don't do it. Because I'm telling you, when you have that kind of mentality where you hope and you wish and you pray that somebody will not do something to you, then you're putting yourself in a situation to where you're at their mercy. You're literally on your knees begging for them to do right by you. How does that work out? When you're in a situation to where you're depending on somebody else to do right by you, you actually are putting yourself in a situation to where you pretty much deserve what you get what you deserve. You get what you deserve. Because you're not in a situation to where you're saying, well, hey, I got my, I'm defending myself and I'm making sure that I'm good and I'm taking care of myself and I got myself in a position where I'm protecting myself, then you're in control of what's happening. But if you're in a situation to where you're like, man, I hope that they don't come in here and do nothing to us. I hope that they don't. You're going to get what you deserve. You get whatever you get is what you get. That's just how it is, because you are putting your safety and you're putting your life in the hands of someone you don't even know. That's exactly what's happening. And that, to me, is more scarier than the actual crime itself. And it's one of the things that I've noticed with us as a people. We have to get to a point where we're doing for ourselves. Because when you're doing for yourself, you're more inclined to get people to actually help you than hoping and wishing and praying and begging for somebody to do it for you. I'm just saying, just take that and just take it for what it is and just think about it. I remember it was Chris Rock, I think, that said this. If I see somebody trying to move a couch by themselves, I'm more inclined to help that person because they're already trying to do it by themselves, as opposed to somebody just sitting there saying, I need somebody to help me move this couch. If I see somebody changing a tire, I'm more inclined to help them and say, or ask them if they need some help changing a tire, than to just say, well, they just standing there with a flat on their car. I'm more inclined to want to help that person than I am to just say, oh, well, shit, they just standing there. Maybe I should go and help them. That's just how it is. So it's like when you think about that and you think about how people are doing for themselves, you're more inclined to help those people than to just sit there and say, oh, well, this person's just sitting there on their ass and they just hoping and wishing and praying for the best. So until then, that's just how it goes. No. Help yourself, and then that'll incline people to help you do those things that you're trying to do. When they see you putting in the effort, when they see you putting forth the resources and the time and the energy to build what it is that you're trying to build, they will do that. I can tell you this, and I definitely gotta say, I really do appreciate my brother Tommy Sotomayor, because he taught me so much about being a YouTuber. He taught me so much about what it is that I do and why I do it. Because I remember when I first started doing YouTube, one of the first things I did was I set up a GoFundMe. And I set up a GoFundMe asking for people, because I literally saw that Tommy had a GoFundMe up. I said, I guess I need to do it too, because I respected what he did and was so, so into what he was doing. I wanted to do it too. So I said, here go the blueprint. Let me follow it. So I put up a GoFundMe, and I was asking people to help donate for stuff so I can get me, all the equipment stuff I needed. And I remember him saying one day, he was just talking in general, but just saying, you got to put into things that you want. You got to put stuff into it and let people see how serious you are about it, how dedicated you are about putting your own stuff into it, your own money, your own time, your own energy. And that made me take my GoFundMe down. And this was early on before, man, it's hot in here. Let me turn this damn heat down. That was early on before I actually got, going. I'm talking like I was still with those of you who remember me from the beginning. I was still with the green sheet behind me, didn't know how to do green screen, sitting there with my old ass MacBook trying to do a show. Before I gotten anything, I was sitting there doing that, and I had that mentality of hoping that people would just give me the stuff that I wanted so that I could do it. And he explained it one day, just in general, just talking like, no, you got to get this shit yourself. He's like, when I started this shit, I started with the best equipment. I put my money and my time into this to build it. And I didn't have the money that he had, but I realized that I needed to get the mentality that he had to where I started doing that. And people saw as my shit went on, how I had my lights. I remember the lights that I had that was purple. I had the, the hue lights behind me. I did that. That was all me. Then I started doing shit like getting my computer upgraded. Then I went from having a computer screen to a monitor. Then I had the monitor connected to my Mac. Then I got past the Mac. My boy, shout out to my man Mike Petrangelo. He hit your boy up and let me use his, because he saw me trying to do it. He gave me my first that little what is it called? Damn it, my first little mixer. And showed me like how to do shit. Then I got the microphone and all that type of shit. Then I started doing shit and improving shit. I started spending my own money. And as I did that, people started donating. People saw me putting my shit into this, and they said, oh shit, he doing his thing. Let me help the brother out. Then I got to the point to where I got the shit I got now. That's when I got the motherfucking microphone, and all people was still donating, but I put the majority of this shit into this myself. My desk and all this shit. I don't know if I ever showed. I think I showed the pictures of the studio, but my lights and all that shit, that was all me. The majority of this shit, the donations absolutely helped. They were godsend. Some people, I remember when I've gotten donations from, $1 all the way up to $500. I talk about how when I was doing this, Tommy bought me my first real mixer that I still use today, right now. Brought me one of the best mixers out. Just sent that shit to me. He invested in me, but he saw my passion. He saw me investing in me. He saw me putting in work in what I was doing. He saw the dedication to me doing what I was doing. He did. I bought when I was doing videos using my older DSLR. I did that. That was me. But it was a thing to where people saw me putting my time, energy, and resources into me. And that's what inspired people to put their time and their energy and their resources into what I was doing.
So
that's just how that
this is
went.
Not something that's just, for them to just up to date and say, I don't want to go to school. Something has to be going on after high that's been keeping these kids not wanting to go to school, I would say.
So several knew about the threat.
Several may have. I don't know. I just know today.
Do you know if anybody reported the threat to the school?
That I don't know, because I was trying to call the staff, and then at the time that this was going down, I was not able to get in touch with her anymore. So I don't know.
And did you say your son was at school today?
No, my son was not at school today.
Because of the threat?
he was not at school today. He just said that, Ma, I don't feel comfortable. None of the kids that we go to school with are going today. That's all he said. Then prior to us finna go to McDonald's to get something to eat, a footage came through his phone, and that's what it was. And he was like, Mom, look, this. I said, oh no, you're not about to let this just sit here like this. You have to go to the school, but I'm not sending him back to this.
And there you have it. And that's us. And that's us. Thanks for sending me that. But there you go. Now, I gotta ask Fayetteville, I'm gonna give you a little more attention. What kind of privilege is that? What kind of is that what kind of privilege is that? What kind of privilege is that? So you talked all that shit early on. Well, the reason why that kid was allowed to do what he did because of the white privilege. You saw that bitch. You saw that bitch. With the mix of braids and fucking curls and shit in her hair. You saw that bitch. You tell me what kind of privilege is that? You knew something and your kids told you that something was up to the point to where you let your kids stay home and you didn't say shit to nobody else. What is that? Tell me what the fuck that is. This is the type of shit that I talk about that niggas see niggas do and won't say shit. Because nobody will go and be like, yeah, justice for the kids that got killed. Right. Thank you for being the nigga that I know that you are, Fayetteville. Thank you. I knew that you would just consistently be the piece of shit that you've been. Thank you so much. Because you see what he put there? When a nigga do some fuck shit, it's called being smart. That's why white folks don't give a fuck about niggas. That's why motherfuckers do and say the shit that they say about niggas. That's exactly why people hate niggas. That's why me, being a black person, a black American, hate niggas. Because that's the shit that niggas do. That goes to show you how disingenuous and how ain't shit niggas are. Fuck them 4 kids. Fuck them 3 kids and that adult that lost their life. Fuck that. It's called being smart. That's a great snappy comeback, ain't it? And that's why when you say shit in my chat, that's why I do what I do and I entertain you the way that I do. Because at the end of the day, I know you a piece of shit. I know you full of shit. I know you ain't about shit. With your fake ass 3.8 GPA and all. And it's all good. Because you're the example that I need to just solidify my points that I'm making. That's why when you say shit, in my mind, my mentality is this.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
That's my mentality. In my mind. Do you see that? That's called being smart. That's called being smart. 3 kids dead. Ain't did shit to nobody. But that's called being smart, huh? Black bitch let her kids stay home and don't say shit. Don't call the police. Don't do nothing. Now, tables reversed. That's a racist white bitch if the white woman did it. She white and she racist and she don't care about black people. That's just what it means. That's just what it is. That's exactly what, and y'all know I'm right. If I'm wrong, then tell me I'm wrong. If you think I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. If that was a white woman who did the same shit and it was some black kids that got killed, y'all would say this the worst bitch ever. Y'all would say that this bitch is a piece of shit. She's a racist bitch and she just wants to see young black kids dead. She don't care about the black youth. She don't care about the black community. She's a racist and this is exactly why we got to have Black Lives Matter. That's exactly what niggas would be saying. If that was Becky Schroeder who said, yeah, my kids said something and then I kept them home. I didn't want my children to be subjected to anything violent. I was scared. And motherfuckers would lose their mind. Niggas would be marching up and down that bitch block. They be camping outside her house, Facebook Living, Instagramming, going on YouTube. Yeah, this the bitch that did this. She didn't say nothing. And 3 black kids are dead, and it's on her head because she didn't say nothing. That's exactly what niggas would do. But you see, when you have the shit turned the other way, that's called being smart. Good for her. Yeah. That's that bullshit. The most disingenuous ain't shit people on the fucking planet are niggas. I said it. And I stand behind it until a motherfucker prove me wrong. You motherfuckers, if you pride yourselves on being the worst of fucking society and you think the shit funny, you think the shit cool, and when a motherfucker try to call you out, you want to come up with every fucking excuse in the world as to say why it ain't your fault, why you was just doing the best you could with what you had. But the minute some shit don't go your way, everybody's against you. Everybody racist towards you. Don't nobody care about you. We still getting treated like slaves and all that other fuck shit you come up with. But the minute it comes time for you to be responsible and accountable for your own actions, you turn the other way and look the other way and say stupid shit like, that's what I call being smart. You were protecting our family. That's what it is. And I'm saying it like this. I'm not doing this and just specifically talking about this nigga here in the chat. I'm using this nigga as an example because I'm telling you, this nigga is pretty much the majority of us. They think the same way he do. And this is a supposedly educated man. So if this is one of the educated niggas, imagine what the uneducated are like. That's why the hood is the way that it is. That's why these kids are dying every fucking day and nobody's doing shit about it because we ain't even doing shit about it. That's exactly why Chicago is over 1,000 fucking murders and haven't been over 1,000 murders since 1994. Because we pride ourselves on being the worst at everything and blaming everybody else but ourselves. That's why. And that's why even when our own fucking Africans come over here, they look at us like we pieces of shit. That's why. That's why the Nigerians and the fucking Guyanans, that's why they look at us like you niggas are the worst. That's why they'll say they'll say the shit they say about us in their native tongues and do all that shit because we are. And they see it and they come from worse conditions than we're in. And they look at us like, God damn, you niggas get access to all this shit and y'all just squander it and throw it away doing stupid shit. That's why when you see these black folks from other countries, they're all excelling and we're not. Look at your average Nigerian family. If they just got here, they're already better than the worst of us. And don't let it be a generation. Don't let it be one generation. Oh, all them motherfuckers is straight. Don't let it be 2 or 3 generations. They rich. They rich. I'm just telling you, they are. Go and look. All of the Nigerians that I know, that I'm and not best friends with, just know from association. Oh, that dude, yeah, that's right, you do know him. They all do well when they get over here. That's why they all trying to get over here. Not talking about, let's not even look at the Asians. Let's not even look at the Middle Eastern. Let's not even look at anybody else coming from another country coming over here. They all do well except for us. We're the ones that live here, that was born here, and we still talking about institutional racism. We still talking about systemic racism is the reason why niggas don't have shit. The reason why niggas is shooting everybody is systemic racism. And we'll tune in and stand behind every fucking entity and every fucking preacher, every fucking politician that'll say the same shit while they living amongst the white folks, the racists. Look at Patrice Conning Cullors. Where that bitch live? Rich white folks all around. Where the fuck you think Al Sharpton live? Rich white folks all around. I can go down the road. Where the fuck you think Jesse Jackson live? Where the fuck you think Farrakhan live? Where the fuck you think Obama live? Just saying. All these niggas that y'all talk about that supposedly in the fight for us, where you think they live? Where the fuck you think Don Lemon live? Huh? Where the fuck you think Van Jones live? Ain't that his name, Van Jones? Dude from CNN that got all that money from motherfucking Jeff Bezos? Ain't that his name? Or is Van Jones an R&B singer? Somebody will correct me or tell me if I'm right or wrong. But just look at it. You look at the motherfuckers in Black Lives Matter. Look at where they live. $200 million. Not a penny to niggas. Look at where they live. I'm telling you, all these motherfucking pro-black motherfuckers. Brother Polite, look at where he live. Just saying. Look at where these niggas live. Tariq Nasheed, look at where he live. It is Van Jones, thank you. I'm telling you, it's all bullshit. And y'all niggas so stupid you keep buying the same thing, hoping you're gonna get a different result. All these race hustling ass niggas, look at where they live. Fuck all that shit they telling you. Look at where they live. Look at Michael Dyson. Look at where he live. Trust and believe. Look at where these motherfuckers live. Fuck all that shit they telling you. Fuck all that shit they talking. Look at where they live. That's all I'm telling you. So when you're thinking that you're pro-black motherfuckers, all these motherfuckers, look at where they live. All these pro-black politicians. Look at where they live. Look at where AOC lives. What's the other black senator chick down in St. Louis? Look at where that bitch live. Stop listening to what these motherfuckers tell you and start looking at what these motherfuckers showing you. Can't nobody tell me shit about being a nigga and until I see where they live. Fuck all that bullshit. Look at where these preachers live. Look at where Father Flager live. Look at how they live. I'm telling you, it's all bullshit. You can buy into that race hustling shit if you want to, but you ain't gonna get no ROI. For you stupid niggas, that's a return on your investment. Thank you. We can go down the road. Let's keep it going. Look at where Kamala Harris live. Look at where Talcum X live. What's the professor at Harvard? The black dude there with the wild hair and the gap tooth. Well, I forgot that motherfucker's name. Somebody will tell me in a second. Right. Look at where Lori Lightfoot lives. I'm telling you. Cornell West. Thank you, Chris. Look at where Cornell West lives. Stop thinking all this shit is a bunch of fucking, yeah, man, we all in the struggle. Let that motherfucker John Tomlin shut up, jungle animal. What the fuck does that mean? Shut me up, jungle animal. Come tame this jungle animal if you dare. The fuck out of here. He said Lawrence Fishburne. Boy, come on here, Crestline. But I'm just telling you, all of these people that talk this shit, look at where these motherfuckers live. What was the politician that just died that was fighting for voters' rights and all that shit? The black dude. Look at where these motherfuckers, look at where Cory Booker, look at where he live. Not Herman Cain. But shit, Herman Cain wasn't no race hustler, but he lived good. Elijah Cummings, look at where he lived. That ain't his name. That's not him. No. The dude that just died, that was that marched on Selma and all that shit, and they had his funeral and had him do the Selma march or whatever. He walked over the bridge. They took his casket over the bridge. John Lewis. There we go. Look at our John Lewis. Look at where he lived. Stop letting these motherfuckers tell you all this pro-black shit and start looking where these motherfuckers live. The minute a motherfucker talk racism, the minute a motherfucker talk racist, the minute a motherfucker talk systemic anything, look at where they live. That's all I'm telling you. Because when you talking to these race hustlers, all these motherfuckers that talk all this shit, when you look at it at the end of the day, where these motherfuckers go home at, that's what they really own. That's what they really about. Because that's how they really want to live. Look at where Ben Crump, look at where he live. I think I just came up with a phrase for myself. Look at where these motherfuckers live. Look at what Colin Kaepernick, look at where he live. Anytime a motherfucker come telling me some shit about a pro-black, my first question gonna be, I want to see where they live. Calvin Dickinson, great question. Brian, so if you're a politician, are you gonna live in the hood? Hell no, I don't live in the hood now. But I'm not blaming here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you can't live where the fuck you want to live. I'm not saying that. But I'm not gonna be living in the neighborhood I live in, like I live in right now, which is decent, and where I'm going to move to soon. I'm not going to be talking about white folks is holding me back. Look at where LeBron James live. LeBron James lives in fucking Brentwood, California, but he talking about how racist it is and how the racism is and these white folks is doing bullshit to the back, nigga. That's why you need to literally take advice from your own fucking little movie, whatever, and shut up and dribble. Because you don't know shit about what the fuck is going on in the world. You living in Brentwood talking about racism. What the fuck? Colin Kaepernick talking about what's racist and being a slave. Y'all see that I didn't see all of that shit he did, but did y'all see the shit he was talking about in his little documentary? Talking about how the football players are like the slaves. Look at where he live. Nigga taking a picture in front of his motherfucking Ferrari talking about racism. Where the fuck is it? Right. Look at where Brian live. And I ain't sitting here talking about white folks is the reason why I'm in the situation I'm in. I ain't got nothing because of white folks. You don't see me doing that. I'm out here making a way for myself, for my family, using the tools that I have and the knowledge that I've gained. That's what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not blaming the shit I don't have and the shit that I want to get on white folks. This is the reason why I don't have it. That's my point. Ain't nothing wrong with living in Brentwood, but there's something wrong with living in Brentwood talking about how racist the world is. You don't see the fucking contradiction in that? Come on. Why the fuck would I be a person who's talking about standing up against the racism of the world and I'm living amongst those that I'm saying are the racists? It don't get no whiter than fucking Brentwood, California. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? The fuck? Y'all, I mean, why am I the one having to say this? How come y'all ain't looking at this shit? The bitch who was in charge of Black Lives Matter, who started Black Lives Matter, brought not one, not two, not three, but 4 fucking homes all around white folks. But white folks is the reason why niggas are dying? Look at where they live. I'm just telling you. You tell me what it is. You tell me what it is. What does that say for those that are so pro-black, black first, we got to uprise, hotep niggas, all these niggas that talk about how racist the world is. Look at where D.L. Hughley lives. How is it that you get all these people that talk all this pro-black shit living amongst those that they saying are the ones oppressing them? What kind of sense does that make? If I'm a slave living on a plantation, I got a fucking complaint, don't I? However, if I'm a free black man talking about slave owners and I'm living on a plantation, I'm a dumb son of a bitch or I'm hustling. One of the two. I'm just telling you what the fuck it is. You talk about all these motherfuckers that talking about the black folks this, the black folks that, the black folks got to rise up, but they living amongst these whites. Look at where these motherfuckers live, and that tells you who the fuck they are. So if you got a motherfucker that's pro-black that ain't living amongst his people, he full of shit. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's nothing wrong with living with white folks. I don't think it's nothing wrong living in a neighborhood where it's white people. But I'm not the one talking about how racist white folks are. I'm not the one talking about how white folks are the reason why we don't have what we want. I'm not the one talking about how white folks is the reason why we can't get nothing. I'm not that guy. I'm not that kind of guy. Y'all know me. I'm not that kind of guy. That's all I'm telling you. I got my new nigga timers, y'all. When I deal with niggas, now I ain't got that little shit. I got this here. Just let me see exactly what's happening. I don't know where the fuck Muhammad Ali lived, but I can tell you this. If you look at where Muhammad Ali lives and look at what he did. What did Muhammad Ali never said, I hate white folks? Muhammad Ali was the one that said, ain't no Vietnamese ever called me nigga. Had a hell of a point. Had a hell of a point. And you know what else Muhammad Ali did? Muhammad Ali sat his punk ass down on a timeout. He lost money. He lost his championship. He lost his belt and all that he had worked for. He set it down at the prime of his life, the peak of his fighting career. He laid it all down. He wasn't living well then. Great question, Calvin. Help bolster my point. That nigga laid down his career. That's just like you take LeBron James right now. Past 10 years, past 5 years, and LeBron James say, until black folks get justice, I ain't playing basketball no more. Shit. Think LeBron gonna put that ball down and stop dribbling? Right. You think Mike doing his 6 years, but Mike wasn't up. I get this to Michael Jordan. He stayed away from that shit. He stayed away from it. So I can't knock Mike. But tell me why LeBron James ain't said until black folks start getting justice, I'm not playing basketball no more. Where that shit at? Because that's what Ali did. Ali said, not only am I'm not going to the draft, not only am I not going to go and do appearances for the troops, not only am I'm going to give up my belt, I ain't got no way to make no motherfucking money because I believe in this thing so that much. I'm not going to let y'all motherfuckers draft me. I'm not going to let y'all make me go do this shit because I know that I'm going to lead other niggas to doing it. And the fact that he laid down all that shit in the prime of his career, it means something. He walked what he talked. He didn't just say some shit and then go live where he was living. He laid it down. She said, "What up from Australia?" Thank you, Sanders. I'm international. That's what I'm talking about. So you just think about that, and you think about where motherfuckers live. You think about what motherfuckers are doing when they say something. Listen, but watch what they doing. That's all I'm telling you. Ain't nothing wrong, I'll say it again, with living amongst white folks. Ain't nothing wrong with living in a great neighborhood. But you can't be living there and talking bad about the same people you're living with. That's all I'm saying. They the worst motherfuckers in the world. They the devil and all that shit, but that's where you living. Come on here now. Why would I do that? I hope that this message helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I hope that somebody will see this and see the points that I'm trying to make. It's all about us saying something when we see something, because yes, it can make a difference and it could potentially save not just your life, but somebody else's. That woman that left her kids at home and didn't say shit, she's an ain't shit bitch. She should have called the police. She'd have called the police and said, "Hey, I called the police and told them while my kids were staying home, something might happen at school. They ain't do nothing. Fine, you good. You ain't got to go up there with your AR-15. You ain't got to go up there with your gun and defend it. You just need to say something." That's all I'm saying. It's better to have it and not need it, and need it and not have it. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. Thank you guys for taking the time out to just give me a like, to give me a subscribe, and salute to everybody that's a member on my channel and the new people that signed up today. I appreciate you all. I'm just trying to do the right thing instead of the cool thing, instead of the hot topic thing, because it's about us as a people. It's about us as humans. It's about us as Americans. That's what matters the most to me. And it's about us as good black folk. I'm tired of niggas. And I'm tired of nigga shit. And I'm tired of ain't shit bitches and ain't shit niggas. I'm Brian Redman. This is the Relationship Rehab. I got to go piss before I piss on myself. Shout out to you guys. Thank y'all so much. Shout out to all my mods. I love y'all. Peace, and I'm out.
What's going on, everybody out there in the internet world? It's me, Brian Redman, also known as the Relationship Rehab. And I need you to do two things. What are those two things? Subscribing to both my channels. I need you to go to the Relationship Rehab, subscribe to that channel, and then I need you to go to United Guns of America and go to that channel. Now you may be asking, why would I do that, Brian? Because it's two of the hottest channels on the internet. Come over there, give me your thoughts, give me your opinions, have conversations, because that's what it's all about. We talk about some of everything: politics, relationships, guns, law enforcement, community stuff. Anything that's happening, I'm willing to have a conversation about it. So come on over. You don't got nothing else to lose, and you ain't got nothing else to do. So come to my channel, subscribe ASAP, and join in on the fun. Twice the entertainment, 2 channels, twice the fun. Come on and have a funky good time with your boy. Peace, and I'm out.